What's up, stranger?
Stress. Been looking for work.
What you looking for?
2 ounces of hard white.
Bitch.
People are always asking me, Kiki, the books that you write, is that about you? Is that about your life? I used to rob drug dealers. I used to traffic drugs. I was a savage. I used to get it, and I didn't care who I got it from.
I've been looking for you for 2 weeks. Where is my money?
And now I can sit here and show you guys a glimpse of my life before I turned it around.
I'm gonna ask you one more time, Kiki. Think harder, right? Where's my goddamn money at?
Mrs. Santana, you look stunning. What are you wearing? And tell us about this new venture in the fashion industry.
I'm wearing a piece from my own line. It's called Kais, designed by my brilliant partner and friend, Karen Blackwell.
Wow. Look at Adriana Santana. She's hot. I don't see Lewis anywhere, though. I noticed Sheldon Chisholm and his family are here. Not to mention the other half-dozen criminals in here.
Oh, no, you don't. We're here to have fun.
But why are you here alone? Where's your recently acquitted husband, Lewis?
Lewis is back home resting. He has his share of bright lights and cameras. We just want to leave that whole thing behind us.
No work today. We've been here for 5 minutes and you're already profiling people? Come on now.
And what else are you looking to see tonight?
All of my friends and to show off her brilliant work. Everything that you're about to see.
We can't wait for it.
The only reason I invited you is because you're my best friend and we never get to spend time together. Plus, you're killing it in that dress. Here comes Jess. I wanted to introduce you to.
When you done?
Roger that.
Then why do you have it?
She told me to keep it!
I'll be out in a minute. Stop with the lies!
He's a very flashy Haitian with a penchant for violence. There's no one to play with, Haitian.
Where's my goddamn money at?
Sakura is dead.
Play with me again. I'm tired of hearing you talk all the time. Save it. Save it.
She's my friend. She's my friend.
But I will not give up. I will not give in. And I will not get caught. Time to go hunting.
And the winner is Wes Clark. Congratulations.
Yes, she's my mother.
Rock stars. There is nothing like those wild, rebellious party animals. Entry number 60.
When I decided to pursue acting, I never thought it was this difficult after weeks of being homeless, jobless, sleeping on my friends' couches. I'm finally here!
Just take care.
What are you doing?
Yourself. What's going on?
Tribe, they're
Terry.
coming.
Where have you been? I've been calling you on your cell phone all day.
At work.
Faith wake up dope sick, fiending for a sniff. Left the house, ain't tell her husband she was gone, she just dipped.
Why is it that you are taking large sums of money out of our account every single day?
While her family's at home, she's out there chasing that high. Roaming up and down the block, she run into this pimp guy. He's conversating with her, asked her if she trying to make cash. Next thing you know, she's in front of the pink house selling the ass. Then she gets dope sick again. She need that boy, so she out there searching again. She's tired of her life. For years she done wrong. Now she wanna do right. She go to rehab to get the help she need, and she tell her family.
I'm Yoshi Lomax, superstar attorney at law and fugitive.
So, you're the famous Yoshi Lomax. Probably more infamous.
I'm on the run from the federal government for crimes that I didn't commit.
Gentlemen, I'm Deputy U.S. Marshal Sharon Starr. I'll be taking things from here.
Not to mention being on the hit list of at least 3 of Miami's major crime bosses.
I wanted to apologize in person for leaving so abruptly last night.
Welcome back.
That's Vladimir Kuzetsov, a Russian crime boss. He's been a suspect in over a dozen missing person cases.
I mean, I didn't get here to be this successful for doing things the American way.
I need a list of the jury for my case with Hanshu.
Oh, really? What's that worth to you? Oh my God, you're such a...
Mr. Santana is to be released upon processing.
So what do you know about Sheldon Chisholm?
What do you want to know about him?
I really need to know if you are going to take my case. I don't have time to play, Miss Lomax.
Money is not a problem. You know anything about his case?
It's being handled by agents in my field office.
I've learned that in this game of life, in order to win,
Ready to dance?
you gotta play dirty. You might look at me and see a beautiful, confident, successful woman.
Congratulations, counselor. Yet another win.
But underneath, I'm flawed. I'm broken. And I'm scared. So I have no choice but to run until I can find a way to clear my name.
Miss Lomax is now considered a fugitive of the United States. Catching fugitives is my business, which makes her my suspect. You and your associates are relieved.
Look. She killed one of our own.
But I will not give up.
All right, people, listen up. Get a picture of Miss Lomax out there so the public knows what she looks like.
I will not give in.
Okay. People, we got a game plan. Let's break and execute.
I will not get caught.
Time to go hunt.
So we have the extended version of the dream sequence right here. Sheldon comes to visit Yoshi in her hotel room after their meeting. Yoshi looks a little nervous at first, but then you see things get a little steamy after he throws her against the wall. And right here, Yoshi thinks she has everything under control because that's how she manipulates men, through her sexuality. So In her mind, she has him right where she wants him. You see, that's Yoshi though. She's hot, she's sexy, she's manipulative. She uses sex to get the upper hand on men. Get the win no matter what the cost. And as you can see, this is not exactly the result she was looking for. We shot this scene in Atlanta. Chuck Gomez was the director of photography. Great scene, good acting by Sasha and Wilner.
For pop R&B artist Jamela.
I picked Kelly.
Love you, hate you. I don't know if I should leave you. Stay here, right here. Push you out, I hate you back. Love you, hate you. I don't know if I should leave you. Stay here, right here. For your love and hate got me running.
Can we just handle this in the morning, please?
No, I think I want to handle this right now. You can give your time to the studio boy, but I think your man can get a few minutes. All right? Hey, don't walk away from me.
You're hurting me. Stop, please.
Get in the car.
I've been down this roller coaster, running around in circles. We go trips around the moon. So confused, so scared, so in love, so unfair. It's so unfair, yeah. Love you, hate you.
Standing next to me is one of the sponsors of tonight's fabulous event, music mogul Lance Wallace. How are you, Lance?
Good evening, Michelle. I'm well, thank you.
Excellent. Now, are you concerned with the recent backlash for the drug charges against your group, Grind Time? And what's the status of the case?
Worth $1 billion Inc. and its artists will always maintain its innocence. This is clearly a misunderstanding. And we're here to promote positivity and give opportunity to our people and to all people. That's it.
And so what do you think about Mr. Wallace is here to promote his fashion line? He will only be answering questions about that subject.
Thanks.
So actually we got everything up until the part where you started doing that, so we'll probably start there, but we're gonna move in closer and get a closer shot of that. Okay. We'll be done with that.
Okay.
And then I think he wants to do some steady cam stuff, so. Obviously, the first action before they all start moving and stuff, girls are gonna be engaging, talking, drinking, whatever. You're engaged in that, and then let them do. So don't ever stop. Don't look at them until if she pulls her out, y'all can kind of look in like trying to think what she doing. Hey, that's it. But other than that, I want to keep the action moving. All right.
No, all you can say is there's Lewis around. That's all you gotta say. There's Lewis around. That's all you gotta say.
Hello, Ms. Lomax. I'm Jasmina. I'm the VP of Lewis's New York division.
Is Lewis around?
Yes, of course. Kristen, please. Can you show Ms. Lomax to the Grand Suite?
Right this way, Miss Lomax.
Chastity, Maria, Sydney, Mackenzie, and Lucy.
Well, hello, ladies. I'm Bella. I have a question for everyone. Why do you think rich men cheat?
Control, attention, power.
Here, you will learn how to gain ownership of all. Are you ready to take that step?
Up y'all, this is Rayon Lawrence, and you're watching Real Talk with the director.
Hey everyone, it's your girl Catherine Nunez, and you're watching Real Talk with the director and the council on the IE Network.
Real Talk.
Hey, I'm Gina Lou, and you're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Hey, what's up? It's Logan Browning, and you're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Real Talk.
Hi, this is Alana De La Garza, and you're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Hi, I'm Diane Franklin from Better Off Dead and Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures. You're listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
Hi, this is Monique Capri, and you are watching Real Talk with the Director on Blog Talk Radio.
Hey, I'm Stormy Maya, and you are listening to Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
This is Vicky Judy, Orange is the New Black, and I'm here with Real Talk.
Yo, what up? This is Jay Ellis, and you're watching Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio. Keep it locked.
Hi, I'm Frida Parks. You are listening to Real Talk Radio with the Director. Hey, I'm Issa Rae, and you're watching Real Talk with the Director on Dollhouse Radio.
All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Nothing more, nothing less. What's going on? Welcome to another edition of Real Talk with the Director and the Jedi Council. I'm the Director. We'll be with you for the next 120 minutes or so. Real Talk's brought to you each and every Monday by Get a Shot There, B2S Media, in association with Dollhouse Radio, and we broadcast live via the World Wide Web on youtube.com/IE Network TV and Facebook, aka the social network, Meta, and Instagram. So, happy Monday, everybody. It's the 12th of February. Once again, like we said last week, happy Black History Month. Every month is that Black History Month, right? But this is the designated one, so, I want to talk about that. But congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs on their back-to-back Super Bowl win. 2 years in a row. They have an opportunity to make history and run it back to back. And we'll see. But not really going to talk about the game itself. We want to talk about the Super Bowl commercials and trailers and the halftime performance. Those are things we're going to talk about a little bit today. Also, we'll talk a little bit about, we kind of have to, because everyone's going crazy over this whole Usher, Alicia Keys performance thing, and it's just, it's a shame that I have to address this, but we gotta address it because it's what everyone's buzzing about. It's like weird to me, though. I don't know. Today's climate is real funny to me, how they perceive everything. No one believes in showmanship anymore, performance, and it's just weird to me. But we'll talk about it. Some of the best, we'll talk about the best trailers, best commercials, and a little bit of everything else. So we'll talk about anything that's movie related, film related, television related. This is what we do here at Real Talk. We discuss all the latest topics in film and television. And this is what we do. So we thank everybody coming back. Shout out to the chat room, everybody coming through. Check the poll as you come through. Pause. We put a poll up. Where would you rate Usher's halftime Super Bowl performance? I just put ranges, it's 0 to 5, 5 to 7, 7 to 10, somewhere in there. And also think about, where would you rate his performance amongst current Super Bowl performances? We'll talk about that a little bit as well. Being that obviously we've had some great Super Bowl performances, In the past, I think Usher did a good job. I'll discuss more what I really think, but I think he did a good job. Um, and yeah, so we'll see. We'll see. He said, "How many people lost money last night?" Yeah, it's a good question. How many people lost money last night? I don't know. It's hard to bet against the Chiefs because of Patrick Mahomes, and he proved once again why he is the current GOAT. And he proved it. He proved it once again. But yeah, I'm not much of a gambler myself. I wouldn't have bet against Mahomes though. And you never had the feeling throughout it's almost like the Patriots all over again. Cause like you never had the feeling that they were gonna lose. Like you never did. It's weird. I mean, it's funny, but it's like the Patriots all over again. Like even when they were trailing by 10, I never had the feeling that they were gonna lose. I just was like, I'll believe it when I see it. And I didn't see it. That's why I didn't believe it. Oh, is there? We'll talk a little bit about that. I know a lot of people are tired of seeing Taylor Swift and all which is another thing that's just dumb. A woman, is covered, supported her man, and it ain't no different from him going to her concerts. Now, expect to see Travis Kelsey showing up at more Taylor Swift events and concerts. Expect him to attend events with her because now football season is over. So, you know, he'll have a little bit more time to start doing red carpet events and things like that she may show up to. So, people need to just get over it. They are a couple and they're going to support each other. Plain and simple. Going to support each other. Joseph Tanner's in the building. Hello, Joseph. Thank you for joining us as usual. And everyone else is coming through. What's up over there in Instagram world? Everybody that's coming through there, I appreciate y'all popping in, popping out. Leave a comment, even if you don't stay. Talking to the Instagram folk, even if you don't stay, drop a comment. Where you from? Drop your name. Where you from? So I can shout you out here over here on on the show. So we're kind of new to Instagram as far as the show goes. I'm not new to Instagram, but we're kind of new to Instagram as far as the show goes. So we definitely want to get more engagement from you guys. The software site integrates Instagram, but I can't flash your comments like I do here, or if you're joining us on YouTube or Twitter or anything like that, I can well, not with Twitter, but YouTube or Facebook, I could put your comments up if you drop some, but I can't really do that on Instagram. They haven't put that in there. You know what I'm saying? And we appreciate you for joining us. And Evelyn, I appreciate you. Thank you. It's good to see you as well. Definitely come through. Some of y'all come through. You got your names, and I know your names, but it's like, okay, shout me out. Shout yourself out. Drop a little note in. Yo, what up? It's so and so from so and so. Whatever else you want to talk about or shout out. And y'all tell me, just drop your opinions in there. Did you watch the Super Bowl? Did you watch the Super Bowl halftime performance? What did you think? Was it decent? Was it good? Was it trash? Was it like, what's your opinion on it? And then we'll talk about the whatever. I don't even want to call it a controversy, but it's whatever this thing is, people. I have a bone to pick with people on social media. Social media has changed our people so much for the worse, not for the better. And I explain that because I feel like we are definitely more destructive and disruptive with social media than we were ever before in our whole entire existence. Social media has become the tool, yet another tool to assassinate, attack, accuse, belittle our own people. And that's for anybody, people, humans in general, but especially our own people, black people. And um everything now has to be messy. Everything now has to be, some sort of controversy. It's just really weird. Really. I mean, come on. Where's my Gen X people at? Y'all should know better. Any Gen Xers that are engaging in this nonsense that's about Usher, and even when he was doing the performances, the residency, y'all should know better. Come on, man. We come from better than that. We come from a world where it's, we remember we were here before the internet. We were here before social media. So we should know how to act when it comes to social media. Right? Happy Black History Month. That's what's up. That's what's up. We appreciate that, Imani. Thank you. Thank you for Happy Black History Month to you as well. I appreciate that. She dropped a little black heart. That's dope. Like that over there on Instagram. But yeah, man, social media has really, really contributed to yet more destruction of each other as a people. It's just really sad. So, but we will discuss the Usher thing. So, anyway, the weekend recap brought to you by BoxOfficeMojo.com for the weekend of February 9th to February 11th. Number 5 is Migration, made another 2.9 million over the weekend, bringing the worldwide total to $235 million, $235.5 million. Migration was hilarious. I'll tell you, it was a great family film, good animation film, one of the best I've seen in a while. It was funny. My 3-year-old daughter loved it. Soon to be 4-year-old, but my 3-year-old, soon to be 4-year-old daughter is she loved it. She's so emotional. So I mean, she's a pandemic baby, right? So she she didn't have a lot of contact with people for like the first 2 years of her life. So taking her out into the world, and she watches movies and she's so emotional. She's very triggered by anything that's even remotely violent. It could be a cartoon. It could be like Bugs Bunny getting an anvil dropped on his head or something, or dropping an anvil on somebody's head, and she would just burst into tears or something because she's just like, "Oh no," But she enjoyed it. It was an emotional roller coaster for her, but she enjoyed Migration. Funny movie, good movie. Wonka's number 4 on the list, made 3.1 million, bringing its total to 587 million, $0.8 million. So half a billy for Wonka. I have to say this. I am surprised that this property still makes so much money, even this much. Half a billion on Wonka? And I know it's a different telling. I understand that, but how many times are we going to see this IP? I mean, I don't know. Well, somebody wants to see it. The Bookkeeper made 3.4 million, coming in at number 3. Bookkeeper is at 133.8 million worldwide. All right. It opened in 3,300 and something theaters. Number 2, Lisa Frankenstein made 3.7 million, bringing the world. It's only a domestic release, released in 3,100 theaters, and it's only at 3.6 million dollars. It just opened February 9th, so it really just opened over the weekend. But it's only made $3 million in 3 days. Still, not great at all, but it is number 2 over the weekend. Number 1 is Argyle, or Agent Argyle, whatever you want to call it. The action film, which also is underperforming in theaters, I would say. It opened February 2nd. It opened to 3,600 theaters, and it's only made 59 million. Hasn't even broke $60 million worldwide. So, but that is the number 1 movie, holding strong at number 1 this week, because it was pretty much of a weak box office. It was a low box office week. So, and there's your weekend recap brought to you at boxofficemojo.com. You're listening and watching Real Talk with the director and the Jedi Council. I am the director, and I brought my Jedi Council with me. I got half of them here with me. Ralph, you're in the building, bro. What's going on? Welcome back.
Hey everybody, what's going on? How much did y'all lose yesterday on that game? I just want to know. A girl called me last night crying. I was like, "What's wrong?" I said, "I lost $5,000 on the game." I was like, "What?"
Wow.
So I said, so she said, "No, I bet." So I said, "Did you lose because the 49ers lost, or did you lose because of the point spread?" And she was like, "I lost because of the point spread."
Point spread. Right. Points. Most people gonna lose because of the point spread. Did she act? She didn't actually bet $5,000. She just didn't win
she bet
$5,000.
she bet $5,000.
She bet $5,000 on the point spread.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's a lot. Well, you know what?
But
I've never been a gambler. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not a gambling dude. I go to Atlantic City or Vegas or something like that and hit the slots. I've hit the card table a couple of times, and then I tapped out because I was like, "Look, I need my money."
Exactly. But here's the messed up part. Her mom bet against the point spread, and she wound up winning $30K. And I was like, wow. So now her mom is like,
so borrow the money
back
back from your mother.
No, because her mom is up here doing the John Cena. You can't see me, loser.
Oh, that's funny. I probably would have did the same thing. I probably would have been teasing my daughter. I'd be like, yeah, okay. Nah, but you know what? It was a defensive type of Super Bowl. Some people would say it was boring, whatever. I don't think it was boring. I just thought it was a defensive, game. Like they played well. The defense played well. The offenses didn't look that great. But when it was time to step up, Patrick Mahomes showed yet again why he is the current GOAT. He is the new Brady right now. I'm not comparing him to Brady because it's too soon to compare him to Brady. Still too soon. He's on pace to deserve that comparison somewhere a few more years down the line. But I'm not delusional, people. So
no, I got into a whole
definitely deserves his accolades, and I'm not comparing him to Brady, but I'm saying he is the closest thing to the next Brady.
Right. I got into a whole thing about this with the people on my job because I was saying that we had talked about mentioned this a little bit last week, and they said, "Why do you think Brady is the guy?" I said, "Because of only one reason, because of free agency. That's the only reason why. It's not so much that he's got the rings. It's because on that team." Especially nowadays, free agency, the teams change. So you got running backs that come and go, wide receivers come and go, linemen that come and go, but you all cohesive enough to still pull it together, win a championship, and that is a dynasty. Now, Mahomes right now he's got 3, and there is a lot of ifs. If Kelsey stays, if Reed stays, do you have a legitimate shot to get 6? Those are real big questions, and if Reed was 20 years younger, I would sit there and say, yeah. but he's not. He's 70. I think he's 74.
Yeah, he's the
Right.
oldest coach in the league right now.
Right. You know, and like I said, you proved that when you didn't need Holmes, you could still pull it together. I mean, the team did not have 1,000-yard running back, but you had a decent running game. So there's a lot of ifs in there, you know. And we were talking. I said that was that's the only reason why I would give the nod of the GOAT to Brady, because of the free agency. And like I said, a lot of people don't think about Terry Bradshaw, you know, or people even like, to a degree, Troy Aikman. You know, we think of, like, you know, because you gotta have 4. You know, well, Mahomes got 3, so right now he's with Aikman. You know, but he's not. He's still named Montana. You know, so I gotta give credit where credit is due. When you're going to sit there and put someone and say you're the GOAT, because especially now when your teams change around, you change personnel, but y'all could still pull it together, not really knowing each other, and throw in the draft picks, and you could still win a title. You know, that's kind of hard.
That's impressive. That's impressive. It's not easy to do with free agency, especially during the free agency era. And that's what it is. Now, you got to imagine, if you are the Kansas City Chiefs owner, you need to be doing everything in your power to bring back the core of this team, and maybe even get like a good receiver, you know, a solid, reliable receiver for Patrick Mahomes, you know, just so he don't have to work as hard.
You know, no, Derrick Henry from the Titans, he's gonna be a free agent this year. You know, you might want to pick him up.
I can see that. Yeah, I can see that. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think this kid, though, he might grow. I think Pacheco could grow into even being better. He runs hard.
Yes,
he definitely runs hard all the time. He keeps his feet moving. You know, he's elusive. And he can catch the ball out the backfield, so he can line up as an extra receiver. So he's a little more of a what's the word?
He's diverse. He's much more diverse.
Yeah, a little more diverse of a back. Now, don't get it twisted. You know, Derrick Henry's Derrick Henry, but I'm just saying, I would probably target a solid go-to shorthand receiver, because number one, Kelsey ain't getting no younger. Number two, your tight end should never be your main guy, even though it kind of like that with Brady, but it was like that with Brady because he had no choice. Brady never had, other than Randy Moss, he never had a dope receiver in his whole career.
People forget that originally Brady had the 2 tight end tandem of Gronk and Hernandez before Hernandez popped his wig. But he had
murdered
somebody. So he had 2 big stud tight ends to keep trading off on. You know, you don't think that was an advantage?
That was an advantage, but it was an advantage because he made it an advantage. He had 2 great tight end receivers. But the thing is, other than Randy Moss, when he came from my Vikings to over there, other than Randy Moss, Brady never had he had never played with a Hall of Fame receiver except Randy Moss. And that was only for 1 year, maybe 2.
Yeah,
that
2
was
years.
It. So 2 years. So that's the same thing. Like, obviously Mahomes has proven 2 years in a row he's proven that he could do it without Tariq. And like I said, if you can get him you don't need to get Tyreek again or a guy that's as good as him. But if you can get yourself a solid go-to receiver that he can rely on, I think the other ones will grow. You still have Kelsey to do what he do. And I think I would, if I had to take because it's harder to find receivers. I mean, it's about even right now between receivers and running backs as far as finding a good one, because it depends on your system. If you have the way they run their system, you can have someone like a Pacheco and it kind of fits a little better than just a hard downhill runner like Derrick Henry. You know what I'm saying? So it fits a little bit better because he's a little more versatile. You can put him out on the flat, you can put him out on the wide out. And he, like I said, I like that dude. I like that kid's heart, and he runs hard.
Yeah.
That he runs hard. He keeps his legs moving. He's a little guy, and he moves he like Rakim. He moves the
He pushes
crowd.
the
This guy,
crowd. He pushes the line. He pushes the line.
he pushes the line. I'm like, yo, this dude. So you know what I'm saying? That is something that you can't teach. It's just something that's within you. It's hard. It's will, sure desire and will to do what you do. So I think I don't know if I'd give up on him. I think I'd rather see Mahomes with a solid, maybe one, get him back one superstar receiver. If I'm the owner, I don't want to see that because I'm not a fan of the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, I don't hate them, but I'm just saying, long as it's not my guy, any receiver other than Justin Jefferson, I'll be happy. That's fine with me. But yeah, I mean, so that, and we welcome Kev to the show. So sticking with that, you had the Super Bowl commercials. This year, yeah, I wasn't too impressed with the commercials this year. There were a couple that I kind of enjoyed. The one with
I love that Arnold
Agent State
Schwarzenegger
Farm.
commercial. That shit.
Yeah, Agent State Farm.
Yeah,
that was funny. Neighbor, like a good neighbor. Like a good neighbor. And he's like, you keep saying neighbor. It's neighbor. and you know they had to do the get to the chopper joke. He's like, get me off this chopper.
Yeah. Get to the chopper.
Get to the chopper.
Yo, I was I don't know where I was. Where was I when I saw that commercial? Because I first saw it on Friday because I saw it. It was online. It was on YouTube. I think it was YouTube that I was watching, and I was watching, and I'm like, what the fuck are they doing? Like, what is Arnold Schwarzenegger doing? And then he said, neighbor. Bro,
neighbor.
I laughed for like 20 minutes.
And he's like, I keep hearing neighbor. It's neighbor. And he's like, and then he says to Danny DeVito,
I like
you're a backstabber.
Yeah, I like the way they screened the commercial first, because when they first started showing the commercial, they didn't show Danny DeVito at the end. They ended it with him in the chopper. It wasn't until the Super Bowl,
chopper,
at least for me, where they showed Chopper, and then they showed Danny DeVito at the end.
Yeah, that was funny. I like
hilarious.
That was a good commercial. There was another one in there that had that one that had Tom Brady in there. I think it was DraftKings or something about betting. That was funny. They was like, and Tom Brady's trying to disguise himself. They're like, not you, Tom. You won enough.
Yo, at the end of that though, he looked like he was mad for real.
Yeah. They're like, not for Brady. It's like bet MGM, and he's like, what? Like, yeah. They said, and even the call to action, was funny. They're like, download bet MGM, except you, Tom. You've won enough.
Tom, you won enough.
That is great. I thought that was funny too. It's good to see that. And then there was one, the Ben Affleck one. Tom was in that too.
The one he got 10 mil for Dunkin' Donuts. 10 mil for some damn Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah, Ralph. That Dunkin' Donuts commercial was hilarious.
I haven't seen it. I got the whole Super Bowl on tape, but I haven't. I just saw the last. Actually, all I saw the Super Bowl was overtime. I haven't seen the actual game yet.
It was funny. The Dunkin' Donuts commercial. It was funny. Ben, it was funny to see Ben do that, and then Tom Brady was in that too, and Matt Damon was like, "Why am I your friend?"
Friend,
because he was trying to like perform, and he doing all this stuff. Matt Damon's like, you know, I'm only here because I'm your lifelong friend, right?
Why am I your lifelong friend? Like he was mad. Like I don't want to be your friend right now because you're making a fool of yourself. He's like performing in front
Yo,
of J Lo. J Lo's looking
I
at
want
him
to know who
like,
came up with the idea for this commercial because
I don't
yo,
know, man.
that was genius.
That was funny. I'm like, yo, that's funny. And it's very funny that, I mean, Ben Affleck, when he's in front of a camera, he's a certain way anyway. I remember watching an interview with him,
Yeah.
and Ben Affleck is not, he's a very private guy. Like, he doesn't like the spotlight, like the limelight. Obviously, when he's in front of a camera, he does whatever he does, but he doesn't like being a celebrity. Like, he doesn't like all of the BS that comes with it.
The
He
center of
likes
attention.
doing what he's doing,
Yeah.
living his life, but he doesn't like have to, because obviously nowadays being a celebrity is like, there's so much more obligation now since the implementation of social media. It's like this obligation to divulge your whole life to the world and let everybody
Yeah.
know what the hell you eating at lunchtime.
But you know what? But
24/7.
But in his case, it's another. It's a different story because you married to the second baddest chick in the game. I should say the first baddest chick in the game.
No,
And
she
then
not.
fiance.
No, she not. Sorry, I said,
What?
You
What?
got that wrong.
No, I
And what
don't.
do you
She-
define bad? Who's the best chick in the game to you, bro?
To me,
No.
number one is-
When I say that, Ralph, I mean as far as like like dudes just married to fine chicks in the game. You know what I'm saying? Like according to pop culture, Beyonce is supposed to be the baddest chick in the game because that's what Jay-Z said. But technically speaking, J Lo was the
The
baddest
king
chick
of
in the game.
gaslighting, Jay-Z.
Nah, I think
Yeah.
technically the baddest chick in the game is Rihanna, and everybody else is second.
Well, okay. I listen. I 100%
They're
agree
all
with
in the
that.
conversation,
You
in
know
my
what?
opinion. It's a matter of opinion. That that's fair to say. But Rihanna hasn't done anything in the game in freaking almost 10 years, except for she did the Super Bowl. That was the last thing she did, but she did that pregnant. It was cool.
But did she do? Isn't she an Oscar nominee last year?
But not only that, not
Yeah,
only that,
Yeah.
but her, but not only that, but her Fitney line that she does every fall hits. That
No,
shit
I mean
slaps, 'cause
that
it's-
is no.
it's
What I'm saying is in the
exclusive-
game. When I
it's
mean the
exclusive to
game,
Amazon.
I mean the game that introduced Rihanna to us, which is music. She hasn't done any music other than
when
the
you talk about
soundtrack
music.
song. Yeah,
Oh,
she
okay.
hasn't done any music other than the soundtrack song.
Right.
Right.
And
So,
as far as music is concerned, yeah. But I'm talking about like overall
she's
entertainment.
definitely in that conversation, and I'm not mad at you for saying she's the baddest in the game. In your opinion, I get it. She's definitely. If you're gonna if you're gonna collaborate overall, success and overall, impact on pop culture, yes. She is right up there, if not number one, in the top 3. And like I said, that's where you have to put them kind of all in the conversation. J Lo, Beyonce, Rihanna, Taylor Swift,
And now
now
Alicia Keys again.
in that, as far as that overall baddest, meaning successful. Things that you gotta put all of that in there, and it's gonna switch from person to person. Even though you could say any one of them, it's gonna switch from person to person. And yeah, I know you. I heard you grumble, Ralph, but you gotta put Taylor Swift in that conversation. She's definitely
No, that's
in the
not why I was
conversation.
grumbling. That's not why I was grumbling. I was grumbling because as you was talking, I had my TV down, but I saw that that Ben Affleck Dunkin' Donuts commercial was on. The Dunkin' Donuts Munchables. I couldn't hear it because I got the TV down. So I was like, damn.
Okay. Oh,
And
okay.
Taylor Swift. I'll give Taylor Swift a nod. Yeah, I gotta respect where respect is earned. Yeah, she gets a nod. I get she gets the top
I mean, like I
100%.
said, it's not your bad. I get it because anyone could be in any one of those four can be in the conversation, and depending on the type of fan you are, it's going to change. But I think
I'm gonna tell you right now, the top five. It really at this point right now, the top five, in my opinion, again, just my personal opinion. What Ralph said, Rihanna, J Lo, Beyonce, and not in no specific. Well, yeah, in specific order because to me, Rihanna will always be number one. Um, if we had to put it in order, it's I would say uh, Rihanna number one, Taylor Swift number two. Well, actually, it's number two is a fight between Taylor Swift and Kim Kardashian, and then the, and then Beyonce, and then J Lo.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't put Kim in
And
mind because I don't consider. I'm just kind of thinking about entertainers. Kim is not per se an entertainer. She's an entrepreneur. She's a everything else,
but she
but
is an
not
entertainer
an
because of
entertainer.
her. But she but see, she is a kind of sort of
Her
entertainer
show
because of her show.
her show falls under it, but a reality show, in my opinion, is not entertainment. I mean, of course, it's entertainment, but she's not an entertainer. She didn't come into this business as an entertainer. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I don't consider Kim Kardashian an entertainer. That I'm not gonna do. I give Kim all the props that she deserves. She
And
is
she
a,
is and
a
she
an
is an actor. She
entrepreneur,
has
and she's
she has
that,
performed
and
in
she
some big
acts
stuff.
right.
Oh
But I
please,
don't
I'm
consider
not
her.
gonna even
and
consider
I
and
don't
no.
consider
and
her an
and
entertainer.
also, but wait, and also the main reason why she is in that category is because she's a socialite, and the key thing to Hollywood, like with
But
Marilyn Monroe,
that's the word,
and
socialite. I agree
Yeah,
with that, but she's not an entertainer. Not in my opinion. I don't consider
yeah.
her an
I mean,
entertainer
if I'm
because
gonna go,
if we consider reality stars entertainers, then I mean everybody's an entertainer. Like where do we draw the line? There has to be some sort of criteria there because you can be a regular person with no entertainment skills whatsoever and be a reality person or be a influencer. You know what I'm saying? That's their own
but is it
category, and I'm
but
okay with that.
see but
But I
that
don't I don't put that under entertainment.
this but I do because, and here's why, because of the time we live in, and the media reach has changed. Now that social media has become a part of our daily intake, there are some aspects to there are YouTube stars, and whether we
I
like
know
it or
that
not,
they are. There's
um,
plenty of them.
but whether we like it or not, they are entertainers because they have their following, and they have entertainers like some of these YouTube families. My granddaughter is big on these G-rated YouTube families. She watches them like we used to watch the Incredible Hulk
Right.
and the $6 billion man. Like these
No,
are
I
her
get it. I
shows. This
mean,
is what my
I
daughter.
just I can't put them in that category. Not me.
I can't
I don't
either. I
consider them
can't.
entertainers. They are influencers. They are celebrities to a degree. They become celebrities, but every celebrity is not an entertainer. Just because they're celebrities, you see, even if you see them on TV, especially because of reality TV, every quote unquote celebrity doesn't fall or shouldn't fall, in my opinion, under the category of entertainer. An entertainer to me
But
is
if
someone
they but if
who
they're but
does something specifically, came into this business doing that. Now, yes, you can become one, such as there are people that started off as influencers and then got into acting, and now they fall under the category of an entertainer. But not some of them just because they're being broadcast on YouTube or on the internet or anywhere, even on TV,
But if
to
they,
me does not
but
make
the
them,
whole, but the
does
whole,
not qualify
okay,
them as an
what's the definition of
entertainer.
what? But no, but what's the? Here's the thing, because here's the thing. Both of you are forgetting what the definition of an entertainer is. At this point in juncture in media, it doesn't matter. As far as, well, are you an actor? Are you a singer? Are you a comedian? The whole point is, do you have an audience of people that you are entertaining? Or is there an audience of people that are entertained by and attracted to the content that you provide? If that is the case,
well,
you are.
I'm glad you said that, because
I'll
I'm
give
going to
you that.
read off the dictionary definition of an entertainer. Noun: a person such as a singer, dancer, or comedian whose job is to entertain others. That is what the dictionary describes an entertainer as. So what I'm saying is, just because you are on a certain, because I mean, if reality show people or any influencers are entertained, just because you one or a group of people might be entertained by a specific thing, but that doesn't mean you're an entertainer. You could be entertained by the news. That can entertain you,
but
they're not
yes,
entertainers.
I would, you know what?
but
I get
they
what
are,
both of you guys.
because they're
I get what both of you guys are saying, right? And I gotta go with what Wes is saying. Is saying, because listen, that's like sitting there saying all those people in the Bad Girls Club. Actually, they're not entertaining. They're just being their natural selves. They're not trying to entertain you. Like Natalie Nunn is just being herself. So they're filming her being herself. She's not in a movie or on TV. She has a reality show of being stupid. I'm sorry,
no,
and which is
in
quite
that
different
case, you're
than
100% right.
when what's his name was doing Jackass. When Johnny Knoxville was doing Jackass, he was doing stuff that was stupid, but he was doing it to entertain you. He wasn't being stupid because his natural foley is to be dumb, and I'm gonna film it, and you're gonna see me just doing dumb stuff because I'm just dumb. I'm sorry, I can't go with that.
No, and in that instant, and in that instance, you're absolutely right. But where the line starts to get unblurred is when you have reality shows that are scripted, because now you're an actor, because now you're not just. It's not.
But then that's not a reality show.
All reality shows are scripted to a degree, but most reality shows, the story is told in post. So, they basically just film everything, and they might just sit there and say, hey, go put these two in the same room so a fight could start or something like that, and they'll script out what it's more like a plan, more like an outline of what we're gonna do with them, and stuff like that.
Okay,
if you, like I said, that's different.
Yeah. Now, in that instance, it's the show that's the entertainment, not the individual.
Yeah, right. It's the show or the network. It's not the people, right? Exactly.
Right.
In that instance, it's the show or the entertainment. It's just like The Bachelor, right? That is a show that's put together for entertainment. But these people, at least the way they depict them, are just regular people that are contestants on this show. So they're not entertainers. They're no different than contestants on Family Feud. They're not entertainers. They're just contestants on the show.
But it's the show that's entertaining. Like I like the Amazing Race. I love the Amazing Race. But if you weren't on the Amazing Race, even if you were on the show and once it's over, I think that's the question to be asked. If you're on this show, a reality show, and once the show is over, am I going to continue to want to see you on TV? I mean, American Idol, The Voice, those are different sources, because if you win, you're going on to make a record, so you're going to keep being in the close out. But think about all those people that were on Survivor. The bulk of them you ain't never seen again since Survivor came off the air.
Yeah. That's what I mean. I can't qualify reality TV as entertainers. It's entertainment, but they are not entertainers. And like I said, the dictionary definition of entertainer is a person such as a singer, dancer, or comedian whose job is to entertain others. And there's another definition there where someone says an entertainer is a person whose job or goal is to perform for the amusement of others. If you are an entertainer, right, you might be a dancer, you might be a singer, whatever. If you make your living as a comedian, you're an entertainer. You're also an entertainer if you are a dancer, singer, actor, puppeteer. These are entertainers. But if you are, Kim Kardashian, as great as she is at what she does, I can't put her in the category as an entertainer. She definitely, people may watch her show for entertainment, but that's because of the producers of that show does that. And you can watch, you can watch the news for the same. My father, rest in peace, watched the news just to be entertained. He didn't really, he just wanted to see what was going on. He didn't really care about what was, he didn't get too serious about it.
Okay, here's the official definition of entertainment.
I just read you the official definition from the dictionary.
No, the official definition comes from Webster's dictionary. I ain't listening to nobody else but Webster. The amusement, pleasure, or instruction derived from conversation, discourse, argument, oratory, music, dramatic performances, etc. The pleasure which the mind receives from anything interesting and which holds an interest or attention.
Right. Okay.
That's the other piece to entertaining.
That part of it is more or less like everything. What I read to you was the noun definition of it, meaning the person, place, or thing. The noun definition of it, more so pertaining to people, because that's what we're talking about. People. We're not talking about the idea of entertainment. Yeah.
No, but that is a part. But what I said is a part of, because you need a person in order to technically, in order to derive everything that I said. It's an expression. Everything that I said is an expression from the noun.
Let me ask you this. Was Judge Wapner, right? Because you said entertaining. I mean, the divorce course is very entertaining. Maury Povich is very entertaining. No, I'm about to say, what's his name? What's his name? The guy. Damn, I can't think of the guy from Cincinnati that passed away not long ago.
Jerry Springer,
very entertaining. Right now, those three people, well, maybe the last two, I would say yes, you guys are a form of an entertainer, right? Maybe more Jerry Springer than everybody else, but yes. But am I going to sit there and give that title to the people that came in and off the show? Because for 10 minutes you had my attention? No.
But again, Ralph, but that's where Ralph. That's why I said what Wes said before. It's the actual show itself that's the entertainment, even though the people
in that case it's the actual show itself. It's the overall show. The producers, the context. Right. That's what's entertaining you. But I mean, from the definitions that we read, the ones that I read and the ones that you read, that doesn't reality influencers, stuff like that, they don't fall into that category.
I got a question. I actually got a legitimate question that's been irking me for a long time. When someone's sitting there and they're saying they're an influencer, what are you influencing me to do? Or to get, I don't understand that.
When they may not be influencing you, but they're influencing someone.
No. What I mean overall, if you sit there saying I'm an influencer, right? What are you influencing people to do? That's the thing I don't get.
Whatever category of.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Well, kind of about to say what you was about to say. There's so many different categories now with these people. Influencers kind of like the general term that they're using now to kind of describe it, because they really don't have a description for some of these people. But you got influencers, you got streamers, you got podcasters, you got like now they're starting to compartmentalize them into different categories. An influencer would be someone like Kim Kardashian. Why? Because she does influence a mass amount of people. Because people go out, they try to look like her, they try to dress like her, they buy her products. She is an
Form of
influencer,
influence.
most definitely.
But that's one
Because
form of influencer. The other form of influencer is like what's that chick name? The workout chick.
Jane Fonda?
Or even like technically speaking, the earliest influencers would be like Richard Simmons.
But see, I understand that when
Martha Stewart.
right, but I get Richard Simmons or Jane Fonda that they influence you to go and work out. I understand that one. But when someone today says, "Well, I'm an influencer," I'm like, "Well, what are you influencing me to do?" Well, I'm just an influencer. To do what?
Well,
to
it could be for stock. It could be for
a lot of them are just kind of taking that. They're kind of taking that title. They now, here's another thing though, Ralph. Now they've created a new term for people who are not influencers, but they're on the internet. They are called content creators. They call themselves content creators. So content creators are the people that's in between. You're not influencing anything, but they use, like I said, that influencer just kind of became the general term for a while. Now we have broken out into internet personality and content creator, podcaster, YouTuber has got its own category now.
Their
This
own
is
lane.
a YouTuber,
but
right? Their own little lane. That's what I mean. Yeah. So I think what it is once you said to answer your question, they're probably not influencing you to do anything. But I'm just saying that's just a general term now that's kind of broken up into other categories.
Wait a minute. But wait a minute. This is a legitimate question. What you just said. If that's the case, like I'm not talking about like I'm not trying to be funny when I say what are you influencing me to do. But like if I like now this the commercial with Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, they are actually influencing me to go to Dunkin' Donuts to try this donut or these donut holes, whatever. Right? I can understand that one. So. Realistically,
they were just hired.
But what I'm saying is overall, anybody that's in the commercial, right? When you see a commercial, they're influencing you to try this product or try these clothes, try this car, whatever. So our influencers really nothing more than
But
the question I want to ask is influencer just a new way of saying a pitchman?
No, because there's different that's advertising in a nutshell. With everything you just said, that's advertising. Influencing is when you have a specific subject. Like, all right, take from me for example. I'm an architectural draftsman. My design tool of choice is AutoCAD, architectural desktop. That's the CAD program that I use when I do my design work. If I wanted to, I could start a YouTube channel or a podcast or whatever the case may be for those who are interested in doing doing CAD work or just interested in AutoCAD, period.
Or just interested in being a designer, an architectural designer.
But being a designer or an architect.
Okay, I got. All right, I'm with you. I'm with you so far. I'm with you.
So you become now, or I become now, I become now the viewpoint of how people see going into my field. But not only that, the other side of being an influencer is not just only the topic that you're in, it's also being a kind of sort of a motivational speaker on top of that. So you're giving people your insight into what it is that you're doing, and at the same time, you're you're giving them courage to want to go forward while they're doing it. So, like, say real estate, for example, there are some people who are influencers when it comes to real estate because they've mastered the art of real estate, and now all you do now is direct people and how you do instructional videos on how to do real estate, the pitfalls of real estate, the upside of real estate, what the downside of real estate, how to build your confidence in becoming a sales agent or becoming a real estate broker, because there is a difference between the two. A broker makes more money.
Let me
It can do more than a sales agent.
Let me interject
Go ahead,
for
bud.
a second. Now that since I'm over here in the definition of an influencer, it says here, an influencer is someone who is able to persuade a lot of people, for example, their followers on social media, to do, buy, or use the same things that they do. They are often paid or given free products in exchange for doing this. That is an influencer.
But is it? But okay. But isn't that exactly the same thing what they do with a pitch man? I mean, if you
No, because in marketing they have a bullet point for marketing as well. A person with the ability to influence potential buyers of a product or service by promoting or recommending these items. Yes, but that kind of falls under
And that's a
marketing.
commercial.
Yeah, it's like a commercial. That falls under marketing. And that doesn't necessarily mean that, an influencer, the title, giving someone an influencer title, it could generally go over a lot of people that are marketing and stuff like that. But they kind of give that title to, all right, so I'm not going to call Ben Affleck an influencer just because I saw him in a commercial. He is an actor that was hired to do, he didn't write that skit. He didn't write that, he was hired. He's an actor that's hired to act
to advertise
in the
a
commercial,
product.
right? Whereas Kim Kardashian, I know she's done some acting, or one of these people on the internet that may have never done acting in their life. They're on there. They got a bunch of followers already, and they're influencing the people that they already have followers of. Like, you're not putting them on a national commercial for anyone to just see them. You're taking it to your already base, and you're influencing them, right? Targeting to your target audience, saying, "Hey, look, I wear these makeup products.
These headphones.
You should too." You know what I'm saying?
You know what, Ralph? Wes, I'm going to interject on you now. You know what, Ralph? The perfect example of what Wes is talking about, when Dr. Dre first started putting out Beats headphones, he had the athletes. Yeah, he had the athletes doing it, and that's when the I think was it the NBA or the NFL, Wes, who stepped
Probably
in was
both.
like, no,
it was both.
You can't wear these.
Yeah,
you can't
it might have been the NFL. Yeah, it might have been NFL.
Yeah, it was the NFL.
But you get people you get people, athletes, and anyone who has a following and who influences a bunch of people. That's pretty much what it is. So that's why, and they've kind of left. I mean, like, technically an influence could be almost anybody, but it kind of sticks with the people that are non-entertainers, but they still influence a lot of people. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So that's
all right. So once again, not trying to be funny, and really not trying to be funny. So the guy that used to be the pitch guy for Subway, that guy, in today's time, would he be Jared? Would he have been considered in today's time a pitch man or an influencer?
I say a pitch man. He would have. Because he's I say a pitch man because he's on a commercial, he's on national commercials. He's specifically promoting one specific product, and that is Subway, right? So,
but Wes,
you can flip it and make it an influencer by his when you look at his story of him eating Subway and losing weight and stuff like that, and people might want to follow that and do that. That's the influencer side of it. But initially, he was used as a marketing person to market their product. Like I said, I can go on my Instagram right now, and I know people, who may have 500 or may have 5 million followers, but they're not actors, they're not marketing people. They just got 5 million followers. So guess what? I'm gonna pay that
and they're
person
not even
to promote my
influencers.
product. Right. I'm gonna pay that person to promote my product to their 5 million followers. He or she is now an influencer because they're saying, hey, wear this, do this, or they may not even say wear it or do it. They might just do it themselves. They might just put the makeup on while
But
they're
Jared,
talking.
But Jared the pedophile is a perfect example of an influencer, because like what Wes said, when Subway first started using him, they used him because he was because of his story of how he lost weight only eating Subway, and then from that point forward, he became an influencer
he turned it into a marketing ploy. Yeah.
Right. They turned it into a marketing, but Jared became an influencer because at that point in time, he got personal fans who started doing what he was doing. He influenced people to go on the same diet. So it was a dual-edged sword. It was the marketing.
He could definitely fall under that.
But
he definitely falls under it because he's not an entertainer. He was a regular guy. He was an entertainer, anything like that. And like I said, people follow what he does. Now, granted, people follow a lot of people. They follow celebrities and things like that. But like I said, if I gotta compartmentalize them, influencers are normally non-entertainers.
People who
right. All right.
They can be. They can be both, but the main thing about an influencer is the change. The main thing about an influencer is the change that you make in people's lives, because that's what influencers do. The influencers, you got influencers.
I wouldn't use the word change. I would use the word impact, because it could be a change and it could not be a change. I'll just say impact. People might just, it may not change your life to follow.
No, that is the better word. Impact is the better word.
Right.
All right.
Impact that's made.
All right. Now I got a serious question for y'all. Would the two of you do? And I did not explain when you answered. Would the two of you do anything for fame?
Do anything for fame?
Yes.
Oh no, because if that was the case, I would have already been famous. I would have. I've had plenty of chances to do anything for fame.
I kind of sort of I get Ralph's question. Would you do anything for fame? Yes, because you
no,
and saying that, yeah, but you would, because you would put in hard work, you would put in the time needed in order, and you have done the things that you needed to do to become to get the fame that you currently have. Whether it be small or big, you have a certain amount of fame.
I'm definitely would do. I would do things to reach my goals.
Exactly. So that's still a part of doing. Because see, when people hear that anything to become famous, people start thinking salacious, dirty shit, and that's not the case. Because yes, I would do anything to become famous. If I wanted to become famous, I would put in the work needed to become famous in whatever it is that I'm doing. I'd put in the dedication and time, and be knowledgeable about whatever it is that I'm doing, so I can be as successful as I need to be in said fame. So
my answer is my answer is still no, because my answer is still no, because I have not, I do not, I will not, and I never have had the goal to be famous. If fame comes with it, it comes with it. My goal, wait, let me finish my answer. My goal has always been to pursue and be successful at my craft, at my dream, at whatever it is you
That's
want to call
everything
it. That is
just
my
said.
goal. And it doesn't, it could come with fame and it could not come with fame, because I'm not by trait, I'm not an in camera, I'm not an in front of the camera person by trait. So my goal, I could be successful at my job and still not be famous, because even though I'm a I'm a director, I could be a successful director, because everyone has to define their definition of success. For me, my definition of success as a director is to be able to successfully do films, make money from them, and put my stories out there, story tell. I can become famous, I can be not famous, I can be infamous, whatever the case may be, but that's just something that may or may not come with it. Now, if you set out to be famous, which some people do, that's fine, but that's not my goal. It never was. So my answer to Ralph's question is no, I will not do anything for fame.
Okay, so here's the reason why I'm asking this question. Me and a friend of mine, and I'm gonna show her this video later. Shout out to my homegirl Crystal. We were talking about we were talking about some things, like, because she's in the medical field. So we were talking about some things, and I don't know how we got on such a like weight loss, and I said like the show The Biggest Loser, right? And she started slamming the show. She said because it really didn't help people, and I said no, I think it did. And then she brought up the idea that subject came with the idea of fame, and she was like, well, anybody would do anything to get fame. I said, but when a lot of times I told her, I say, at what cost? If you're someone that weighs 500-600 pounds and people have been picking on you your entire life because you're heavy, would you really go on a nationally shown show to be now, and if your entire life, your family, your friends, your neighbors have ridiculed you because of your weight, would you really go on the show to now have the world critique you all for the idea of being famous? And I said, I don't think a person, the one thing that they wouldn't want to be famous for is being made to be embarrassed, right? To be humiliated.
I don't think they go on those shows for fame. I don't
think so either. But I'm saying, but just the idea of fame, because she said, well, everybody's trying to become famous doing something. Like I mentioned that, like you have the background code, you got people in there that are becoming famous because you're acting stupid, So like I was specifically saying that show, I said, I don't think someone that has been ridiculed their entire life would go into a nationally broadcasted show to be now ridiculed by now the world, even though that there is a meaning to why I'm going to show is to help me lose weight, to help me lose this. But at what cost? The cost is your humility,
Yeah.
And that's what we were getting to discussion about. So when she said, well, anybody would do anything for fame, I was like, no, I don't think if it caused your embarrassment. There's a difference between, like, if you do, like back in the day when Nickelodeon had the show where you got slime put on you. Yes, that was entertainment, but they didn't have you go in there and you eat it. Or even if you want to use the show Fear Factor, yes, you did things that were scary, but you weren't going in like if you were so freaked out because you had to go in there with a lion by yourself with a T-bone steak around your neck, and somebody went in there with balls of steel and was like, it's no big, but someone went in there and let's say they defecated on themselves. They don't want that being shown for the rest of their life, especially now, because that's all. Whenever someone saw it, that's what they say. Oh yeah,
they become a meme.
They become a meme, and that's what I was trying to say. So when I'm asking the question, would you do anything for fame? It ain't the fact. I get the fact of hard work, because I'm in the same boat. I said I could be famous. I'm a known person, but I don't want to be famous. But even with that saying, I wouldn't want to become famous because it embarrassed me. Because no matter how famous you get, they're always going to refer to that when you got your fame because you was 3,000 pounds and now you're 20 pounds. It's like not for nothing of some of the girls that were on The Flavor of Love, because I know a couple of the girls, and some of them have been ridiculed. Say, well, you got famous because you kissed ugly ass Flavor Flav. They didn't become famous. They became known, and there is a difference between being famous and known. But they were known because of the fact that they kissed Flavor Flav, not for anything else.
Ralph, I just want to say something about something that you said. Like in your instance, you're a photographer. In your instance, see that, and that's where the definition of famous and becomes a factor, because in your case, as a and even in Wes's case as a director, you want to become well known. You want your name to be household, because in order to get more work and get more lucrative work, your name has to become, if not household, it needs to be spoken about in circles to where people can be like, oh, director Wes Clark. Okay, yeah. Let's get him, because he does XYZ when he does certain scripts, and this is how he works, and he would be perfect for what we're looking for. And again, that's where your hard work, your determination, and your mantra of how you want to present films makes you become famous within the circle of entertainment, where you're going to be now used for music video or this or that, or in your case, Ralph, for photography.
But Kev, but what I'm saying is, while what you're saying about that is absolutely right. If me or Wes wanted to become famous, we possibly generally can become famous. But the question will all be at what cost. If Wes was offered the opportunity tomorrow,
the question, because you didn't say at.
No, I
didn't say at what.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I said at what cost.
No, you didn't. In the beginning, no, Ralph. Your initial question was, would you do anything to be famous? You didn't say at what cost.
You are absolutely right, Kevin. I didn't. Then when I
started explaining, that puts a different complexion.
Kevin, you're absolutely right. I did say that, but when I started explaining why I asked the question, and I said, at what cost do you become famous? And I mentioned the thing with The Biggest Loser, because the conversation I had a friend of mine. The conversation, the question is now, would you become famous at what cost? Does the cost, would people become famous at them being known for doing something that has personally embarrassed themselves? Right. And I said the thing about, like, when you went to The Biggest Loser, if you were someone that was already Kev, if you're already someone that's 600 pounds,
I'm agreeing with you. What I'm saying
but that's why I said when you finish answering, I would explain why I'm asking the question. Because of a conversation I was having with my friend Crystal, we had so like from what you just said right now, Kev, we're doing the hard work. So I'll put it to Wes. Wes, tomorrow you're going to be handed an opportunity to direct a picture for Steven Spielberg. You're going to do it. You're going to do Indiana Jones 6, right? But in order for you to get that role, you got to go in there and eat 2 pounds on national TV. You got to eat 2 pounds to picture it. You going to do it, or you're not going to do it?
I'm not doing it.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about.
Not doing that.
It's at what cost? It's always at what cost. Fame is fickle. And I think a lot of people only see the end result of I'm on TV. That's all you see is I'm on TV. I'm getting into the behind the velvet ropes. I got people knowing my name, but it's always at what cost. I would not go on some show where if I have been ridiculed my entire life, like I said with The Biggest Loser, like where you have been heavy your entire life, and although The Biggest Loser does serve a purpose because it was to help people lose weight, but why would I open myself up to further ridicule when people have been ridiculing me my entire life? Why? For the idea of becoming famous? For what? Losing weight?
No, for the idea. For the idea of losing said weight so you can feel comfortable in your skin.
But I wouldn't have to go on TV to do that. I wouldn't have to go on TV to do that.
No, you wouldn't have to. But unfortunately, if that's the avenue that gives you the motivation for you to get to where you need to get to, because you've tried to do it on your own by yourself, and you feel that this show with the team of people that's on this show is going to help you to accomplish that goal, then you're going to do that for your own self and well-being. Now, are you going to be
but is
chasing
it
the
to
cameras
become
at the same time?
but is it to become famous?
No,
That's the
Well,
question.
I think what we're getting off track
that's
by.
subjective.
I mean, I understand where
That's
you're. Yeah,
subjective.
it's a little more subjective, but I understand why you asked the question because you're just saying right. But I mean, my answer stays the same, because my profession, what I do, I can or I cannot become famous. If it happens, it happens, but I don't do it for those reasons. So I would never do anything to become famous. I wouldn't
see,
even
here's
do
the thing,
anything
and
like what you posed to me, Ralph. I wouldn't even do anything to fulfill one of my dreams. Like I said, it would be a dream to direct a Steven film. I wouldn't do anything for
but
it.
that, but again, it is different. And what you should have done, Ralph, kind of sorta, is at the outset when you asked that question, you should have added the addendum of and at what cost? Because then my answer would have been different.
That's
But
why I
then,
can't. No,
but
no. Before you finish, I'm gonna tell you why. Because when you are presented the opportunity to become famous, and I know a couple people that become famous, they only bring up to you the good stuff. Oh, you're gonna be on magazines, you're gonna do this. They don't ever tell you the bad stuff. When the bad stuff is all the stuff that can happen to you as being famous, but what it does to you personally. So you're presented with this option. Do you want to? Do you want to make this record? You want to make this record?
But yeah, but Ralph, see, here's the thing. Here's the thing about that. See, this is when the label, because you mentioned music, so I'm just going to stick with music. The label wants you as an artist, so they're going to go out of their way to do what they need to do to get you to get you in as an artist. In this day and age, if you would have presented this question like this with the music industry 25 years ago to 30 years ago, absolutely without question, I would say you're kind of sort of correct. But now there's no reason for, and even back then there wasn't a reason, because if you paid attention to entertainers, what happened in their life, how things went for them, you kind of sort of had blueprints early on, like Sam Cooke and different ones who were murdered and killed because they walked into the game with their eyes open and were like, look, this is what I need, blah, blah, blah. Now, if you don't have the luxury of knowing and having that knowledge, then you're going to, when it's presented to you in the way that it's presented, yes, you're going to look at the lights. Yes, you're going to look, because who doesn't want to, if you're in the entertainment industry, the whole purpose of you is not just you also expressing your art as an artist, but it's also expanding your fan base to as many people as you can to be the biggest artist that you can be, because you want to reach more people with your said message or your artistry or whatever it is that you're trying to present. But like you said, there is a downside to fame, but it's not the same for all artists. There are some things that are the same, but there are other things that are different. It's all in how you allow fame to dictate your life, and that's where
I agree. I can agree. I agree with that.
I think we
I
can
agree with
all
that.
agree to that. But in the way that you posed it to me, Ralph, my answer remains the same. No,
my answer is the same too. I just
Because,
couldn't do anything for fame.
I wouldn't even do anything for
at the cost of
success,
my
even though I want to be successful. I won't do anything for it.
yeah.
So
At the cost of my soul, no. At the cost, no. Let me rephrase
anything
that.
that's
No,
dear
no.
to me. Yeah.
At the cost of my dignity.
At
the cost of my dignity.
No.
No.
There's a difference. There's a difference, and we have to.
There's no difference. There's no difference. There's no difference.
No, Ralph, there is. Ralph,
Well, I mean,
there is
but
a
that's
difference,
how he
because
that's how he posed it. That's what he meant by the question. Will you do anything for fame? Now, people are you're perceiving it the way you're perceiving it, but I think what he means is literally, would you do anything for fame? You know what I mean? Like, I think he's generally means it in the literal way. Would you do anything for fame?
The answer is no.
And the answer is yes. Yeah, no, it
Okay,
is.
well, for
For me,
you,
the
that's
answer
the
is yes.
answer.
I
But
would.
for
All right,
me,
Niket,
it's no.
wait, Niket, let me ask this question. We're gonna play a little hypothetical here.
Now,
You were on this show, right? You're on this show. But every week when you come on this show, you have said that you have some medical things going on with you, right? So you don't present yourself to the people, right? But what if you had the opportunity to go into, we'll keep it with The Biggest Loser, for example, okay? But you got to go into it at your current state that you're currently in, right? Now you go into the show because you have you said, well, they're gonna help me lose some weight. But the cost is now you have to expose your various ailments to the world because the world is going to watch this thing. Do you do it, or do you sit there and
no,
being on that show
one.
gives you? But being on that
One, let
show,
me clear something.
first of all, because being on the show doesn't make you famous. Understand that. Being on a show, The Biggest Loser, for example, does not make you famous. It makes you known for the time that the show was on. But once the show is over with, you go back into relatively obscurity. So that's what I mean by the term
one,
at what cost.
But one, I want to clear something up. One, the reason why I use the picture of
Zoltar.
This is just of Zoltar is because one, I love Zoltar. Two, is because not because of my medal, but because I'm physically, you couldn't even, if you walked into a room with me, you wouldn't even be able, until I start walking, you wouldn't even be able to tell if there's something physically wrong with me. You wouldn't even be able to tell that I have kidney failure or nothing because I just look like a regular person out here. So that's not the reason why I use the picture Zoltar is because one, where I use my phone for most times to get on air. Well, in the beginning, I was using my phone for our when we go on air, I use my phone, and it was always dropping, and I don't have a proper stand to set my phone on. So it's just easier just for me to do this than for me to be trying to keep a phone, balanced. Because I tried to do it once.
Kev, we know that, but the issue I was saying is like I'm looking at the medical stuff is going like you just said, like you have a problem walking. So if the opportunity came up to you,
but that's not the reason. But that's not the reason.
Listen, Kevin, listen.
Yeah, I think we're getting off. I think we're getting off base. I think we're getting off base about the whole question. I mean, where Ralph's question was to the literal thing of would you do anything for fame? And it was a literal question in my opinion. That's how I took it, and that's why my answer is no. That's it. I mean, my answer is no, and whoever if your answer is yes, Kev, I'm not gonna knock you for it. I'm just saying that I took it as in the literal sense, anything meaning anything. Now you took it more on a positive sense, whereas yes, I will do the work to become successful. That's different. That's a different context in just saying I'll do anything for fame. That's just like anybody, I ain't
now if you ask
I ain't dropping to my knees and blowing somebody for fame. I'm not gonna do that.
Exactly.
That's anything.
Exactly.
That falls under anything.
Now that's what
right?
I'm talking about. That's where you have to be a little bit more specific. I'm not, I'm not going to degrade myself to
right. Well, that's what I'm saying.
Famous.
But that's what he meant.
Happening.
That's exactly what he meant.
And that's exactly what I said. That is exactly what I said.
That's exactly when he asked the question.
No, that what you meant.
He said anything,
and what you said is two different things.
Right. So what I'm saying, I'm as I said, that's how I perceived it, and now he's clarifying that that's what he meant. He meant literally anything, meaning you will do anything, sell out, whatever, for fame, and that's why the answer is no. You know what I'm saying? So when you're taking it on the sense of I'm going to do what I got to do to become successful or create or hit my goal, you like I said, that is just your personality to kind of take things on more of a positive spin on it, saying no, I'm gonna go hard and do anything that I gotta do to create whatever I'm trying to do or achieve one. But that's not what Ralph was talking about in question. Yeah,
right. Okay, so now that I'm clear, now that I'm clear, then no. But getting back to the other thing, my medical issues don't have nothing to do with why I'm not on camera. It's literally
no. Wait, Kev, wait. Before you say that, you're right. Your medical issue. No, I was trying to use that as a simile, right? That it like the simile was like, let's say you were someone that did have medical issues, like say you couldn't walk or something like that, and then you get an opportunity to go on the Amazing Race, but you know that you can't walk. But your entire life, people have been ridiculing you because you're not able to walk or you walk from whatever. Would you really want to go into a national show to now the people ridiculing you are no longer just your family and your friends. Now it's an entire planet that's ridiculing you, and that's what you become known for. At what cost do you become famous?
But
price of fame.
But in that instance, though, Ralph, that's kind of a bad analogy to use, because in that instance of all the ridicule that you got from other people, and if you're using me as an example, let's just say even with my issues with my legs, which thank God with the 2 surgeries that I have, my legs are a bit better than they were 6 months ago, so I am walking a lot better. At the same time, if I was to go on the American Race or whatever it's called to go be a part of that, I'd be the slowest motherfucker on there, but my determination to get the task done of whatever it is that they want to get done would be is going to be my motivation to be on the show. Because to me, that's like a game show, but it's just physical. You get a task, and now you got to be the fastest person to get it done. Me personally, I wouldn't do it because I would always come in last place because I ain't fast enough to keep up with everybody else.
But I think what he was more so asking with the question, but to apply his question to what you just said would be, I wouldn't do it because I don't want to come in last. But to apply his question to it, what I think he was trying to say was, would you say, even though you wouldn't want to do that because you wouldn't want to come in last, would you just say, I'm just going to do it just so I can get on TV and be famous? You see what I'm saying? That's the point.
Absolutely not, because that would be stupid. Because now I'm known,
right? Exactly.
I'm forever known.
But some people do that.
Some people do that. Which is what Crystal said. She said people will do anything to become famous. And and she'll tell you.
And that's she's wrong for that, because that's a very general statement. And that's just her opinion. Let me rephrase that. She's not wrong. It's her opinion, so she can have her opinion. But I mean, in my opinion, I don't agree with her opinion because that's too general, saying anybody do anything for fame. And if she may truly believe that, and some people will. But I agree with that. So did anyone see the Super Bowl commercial? Not the commercials, the trailers. Some of the trailers.
I saw the Deadpool commercial, but the reception was kind of bad. So I kind of made it out a little bit. That Wolverine shows he doesn't even show up. He makes you hear his claws at the end of the commercial. You see the silhouette of him.
Yeah. You see little silhouettes, you see little things, but the actual movie is called Deadpool and Wolverine. That's the actual title of the movie. So it's not Deadpool 3, it's Deadpool and Wolverine. That's the name of the movie. The trailer was cool, and now they do this thing because of the way internet, social media is, and they just drive you to the internet now. They pay for a 30-second spot, maybe a 60-second spot, and then they'll say, watch the full trailer on YouTube or online. Yeah. So, I think this trailer, and it's just really just a teaser, but this movie is going to be, I think, what the MCU needs right now, because the MCU, whether we want to admit it or not, the MCU is in turmoil. They got movies that you don't know if they're coming out. They're pushing back. They're doing rewrites. They're in a state right now where it's just not. They're not as on point. Right. They're not as on point and as together as they was when they first came out. You know, even when they come out and say, you know, Kevin Feige come out and say, here's our lineup, and then it changes like drastically. Now, even back in the what you call it era, the Infinity Saga era, certain things changed, you know, subtly but not
Yeah, a
drastically.
lot of things.
Yeah.
No, that's wrong. Because there were some things that drastically changed. Like the Inhumans were supposed to be a part of the Infinity Saga, and they totally got scrapped because of their relationship with the I forgot the guy's name, but the guy that was running the TV side of Marvel.
Yeah.
And so because
Right.
because of, and also the Agents of Shield was supposed to be a part of the Infinity Saga, but again,
Well, I
because
mean, they
of
were
the
canon
relationship
to a
between Kevin
degree.
Feige,
They were to
but
a
it wasn't,
degree
but it
part of
wasn't
the Infinity
canon.
Saga. They were canon. They were canon because there were movie characters crossing over to the show. So
No,
Nick
no,
Fury
no,
appeared in the show.
but here's the thing: the stuff that happened in Agents of Shield is not canon to the Marvel universe, like Ghost Rider and all of that stuff that was happening inside the Agents of Shield. That stuff is not canon to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That stuff is canon to the show, and Agent Coulson, because he was a part of Shield, heavily in the early days
Part of
of the
Shield, he
Infinity
was in the
Saga. He
movies.
was,
Yeah.
and he was in the
Yeah,
movies.
but it's the
So
same
so he
Agent
so
Coulson.
he
I
so
think
he
it was the timeline that they did. They never clarified what timeline they're on, because even the show itself was it's
no,
weird.
the
It's
show
like the
itself.
show was definitely
The show itself was
they
a
were
part
definitely
of
referencing.
the show
Yeah, they
was
were
taken.
referencing the MCU.
Right, yeah. The show was canon to the MCU in the show. So the MCU
Yeah.
was canon in the show, but in the
Yeah.
MCU, Agents of Shield wasn't canon.
Right. They weren't acknowledging them in the movie world of it.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
of it all.
And Kevin Feige said it.
Really.
He's like, yo, even the and as a matter of fact, to keep it a buck, even the Netflix shows weren't canon. The Netflix shows didn't become
No, they were
canon
not
until
at all.
MCU
They were not
until late
canon
last year.
to the MCU. Yeah. They were not canon at all. But what I mean is, for drastic change, it's a drastic change to a degree, but I'm talking about, saying that this is our lineup, and then next thing you know, you lose a director, you lose the writers, you start over from scratch. You do those type of drastic changes. This is not this was not happening at first.
No,
not
did
at
happen.
first.
What movie was that? Yeah, and it happened twice,
of
if
them.
I'm not mistaken, where they
The
lost
most
directors.
drastic change I would acknowledge, the most drastic change during the Infinity Saga was Hulk. Was the changing of the actor for the Incredible Hulk. Yeah. I would definitely
'cause
say
they
that
got rid
was
of
the
what's his face.
big drastic change between that. I won't say you can't use Quicksilver, because Quicksilver was from the other Quicksilver was from the Fox movies. So it was two different depictions of Quicksilver. But the fact that
Quicksilver,
the
right?
Incredible
Because
Hulk
Marvel, and
came
only because
out
Marvel
in the
couldn't
middle
use,
of the
only
Infinity
because Marvel
Saga
couldn't, but only because
they
Marvel
couldn't use it,
use
right? They didn't own it. But because the Incredible Hulk was part of the Infinity Saga release of movies, part of those 10 years of movies, and they changed the actor, that was a drastic change, obviously. And probably Rhodey too. Those two actors being, but not as drastic as Banner, because Banner was a lead of the film. Banner is Banner. Everyone knows the Incredible Hulk. So you completely change actors there. The Rhodey one was a big change, but it was slid in there, and everyone was just like, okay, whereas the Banner one, you still got people to this day that liked Edward Norton's depiction.
Yeah,
of
I thought he was
Batman.
really. I thought he got jerked, but he caused himself to get jerked.
He calls himself
That's the
that,
bad
but
thing.
I mean, the whole
yeah.
thing is. So my point is this: right now there's a lot of turmoil, and with the fan base, it's really shaky. So this film, I think, is going to bring it back to, we're just gonna be able to go and see a great action type of superhero film and get back to that and purely that. Of course, Deadpool is a certain type of tone to it because it's going to be one of the first, if not because it's being released this year, so it will be the first Disney Marvel rated R film. We got, like I said, on the slate, you got rated R films. Blade is supposed to be rated R, but no one knows when the heck Blade is actually going to happen or if it's going to happen. So that's what I'm saying about. That's what I mean by turmoil.
Blade is definitely going to happen, but I think production
I can't clearly say that because
I don't know either, man.
I can't confidently say that because how many times have they changed?
I can by what they said. I can by what Marvel. I can say it by what Marvel said. Marvel said that Mahershala Ali is still on board, but he's not leaving, and they did the rewrites to the script, and that production should be going into they should be going into production late this year or the beginning of next year.
Well, I'll believe it when I see it at this point. But what I'm saying is that qualifies to me as this is the most unsure and shaky that the MCU has been in its existence.
Well, because
She-Hulk She-Hulk is not coming back. They're canceling that. They're not doing that. They're not going another season for that. That was kind of a failure to them. There might be other shows that's not coming back or might be coming back or whatever. Once again, even with that, it's coming back. It's not coming back. They don't want, some people say one thing, some people say the other thing. My point is, it's never been in this state before. We knew when we started watching from Iron Man, when they started releasing the movies and you started seeing what movie was next, generally they all came out on time. Maybe pushed back a month or so for certain reasons, but generally they came out when they said they were going to come out. Now, Deadpool and Wolverine is the only MCU film that will be coming out this year. MCU film that's going to be out this entire year. They did that on purpose because they're trying to pull back. They're trying to regroup. Why are they trying to regroup? Because now they're reeling. That's why they're trying to regroup. They admit it by their own mouths.
But here's the thing: they started regrouping at the end of last summer when they called Iger back. They started regrouping. So this to me.
Yeah, that's why they called.
I don't see it as. I don't see it. I don't see that as turmoil. I see it as they're like, okay, wait a minute.
No, it's real. It's real turmoil. I said point blank. Everything wait a minute. The bulk of the films in phase 5 have been vastly underwhelming, right? You had to deal with the whole thing with Jonathan Majors because that was a big mess up in your forthgoing plans, right?
Yeah.
And as I said, I think they just went too fast while trying to do movies and TVs and trying to figure out whether they're gonna be separate or together. It's you're giving people too much product.
No, but here's the thing. But you know what? I gotta give pushback on that because here's the thing, and I've been saying this since they said it. They made it clear that after the Infinity Saga, that whatever they were doing, they were going to be doing a lot of standalone stuff. Mm-hmm. There was going to be a mixture of standalone, and then we had the pandemic, which really jacked them up. So that kind of screwed them up a little bit. And then they're trying to, because of the pandemic and everybody's home, so they're figuring, and they can't. Nobody's going to the movie theaters. So they're like, well, how we done started this Disney Plus thing, so we have to try to keep these people entertained. So what did they do? They did what everybody was doing. flooding the market with content because everybody's home. Nobody can go out. Nobody can go anywhere. So why don't we just flood the market with content? Because we need to. Because now it's a fight for eyeballs.
But I'm
I
being
don't
honest
think
with
that
you.
was a mistake. I just think their execution wasn't good. And Bob Iger said it himself. He thinks Bob Iger thinks it's a mistake that they did what they did. He admitted that they made a mistake putting so much content out at once. I don't particularly think it was a mistake. I mean, who am I? I'm not the man who does the numbers here, but he does. But I'm just saying I'm not upset with that. But you also got to put out quality content. So he wanted to
that's the problem.
More on quality content, more quality, less quantity. We don't have to, ram everything down your throats, but we're gonna give you stuff that's part of that whole thing. As much as the only reason why we wanted so much more content is because the content they put out was quality. That's why we wanted more, right? But when they first put it out, it was, maybe 2 movies a year, whatever would jump out, whatever.
They had time to sit down and present their best foot forward.
Right. Exactly. Time to absorb. You had time to digest it, and then you're like, "Oh, I can't wait to the next one." Anticipation is a big part of sales, right? So you're like, "Oh, I can't wait to," That's why they shot Endgame and Infinity War at the same time, but they released them a year apart because of anticipation.
This is my little pushback to what you just said, because I agree with everything you said. What I would say is, as far as the content thing, what I think they should have did is that if you were going to have all these characters from the Infinity Saga, right, they should have been put on a level that these people we are not going to touch for TV. They're going to stay here in the film world. Marvel has a vast library of characters that no one's ever seen. You should take those characters that did not impact the character from the Infinity Saga and built those here. So like She-Hulk, like for example, She-Hulk doesn't really have anything to do at this point in time with all those characters that were in the Infinity Saga. We know that from the comic book that she does, but on film she doesn't. So you do She-Hulk, and I don't know who else is in there that you could have did. Anybody that was already on the film, you should have left them alone, right? And concentrate on building up all these other secondary characters that no one has seen yet. You should have made TV shows off them. This way, if you felt like, well, now, like they did with Miss Marvel, like you made this character Miss Marvel, right? But now you want to put her into the film. And a lot of people sat there and said that she was not worthy of being in a film. She is a second. She doesn't have.
But she absolutely was.
She was one of the best characters in that film. She was definitely one of the best characters in.
She was in the character in that. I mean, I did not see Miss Marvel, and I am not up to speed on. I know who Miss Marvel is, but I'm not up to speed with the TV show, so I can't sit there and say if those reviewers that I said that they didn't feel that she was movie worthy. I honestly don't know.
She was,
right?
But she was, and they tied in that movie perfectly. The problem with the Marvels is the movie was too short because they cut a lot of the movie onto the cutting room floor for whatever stupid reason they did it. They pulled a DC and cut a lot of the film and didn't allow the story to build the way it should have.
No,
yeah, but
that movie didn't even make a profit. That movie,
it's a failure.
Movie only made $199 million worldwide box office numbers, and then
and also it only made that money because nobody likes Brie Larson for whatever
$174 million.
That I don't think that the idea of Brie Larson got anything to do with it. But Kev, my thing is when you start saying it didn't do it because of if the first movie that she's in as as Captain Marvel makes over $1 billion, and the second one makes under 200 million, the problem was not Brie Larson. The problem was the movie.
It was Brie Larson. You got to understand, bro. When that movie came out, that movie came out pre-pandemic, and it came out at the time of the ending of it came out right around the time of the Infinity War saga. So it was a tie-in into the movie. So everybody went to go see it because of that. That was the main reason why that movie made so much money. Nobody wouldn't have went. There were a lot of people who didn't go see that movie because of something stupid that Brie Larson said, and she was in her right to say what she said. I can't remember what it was. That's how stupid it was that people tried to make a big deal out of whatever it was that she said.
So
And
then
people
doesn't that mean that whatever she said was kind of insignificant? That it really didn't matter?
no, because
I think
that
it's
was
a
the
little
one
bit
thing.
of. I'm gonna say it's a little bit of
Both,
both. They
both.
definitely, it definitely impacted. It didn't impact the box office numbers, but it did impact the response to the character, and thus did hurt the character going forward as far as that goes. But because also Captain placement is very, very important. Captain Marvel was placed in between Infinity War and Endgame. So that the placement of that release of that film also helped it because number one, we're on our hangover from Infinity War, right? Immediately after that comes Ant-Man and the Wasp, which made $600 something million, which I don't know if it would have made that much if it wasn't placed where it was. But Ant-Man and the Wasp made, because everyone now is starting to still want to go see these movies and see what is the end credits. Is it going to connect to Infinity War? Is it going to connect to, because now we want to see what's happened, where they been. None of those characters was in Infinity War. Why not? Captain Marvel, which also you gotta remember, it was promoted and announced that Nick Fury was going to be in Captain Marvel. So automatically, Nick Fury being in Captain Marvel helped it, right? In this degree. Also, once again, in between, Captain Marvel was the last movie before Endgame. So most people are going to anticipate that there's a connection between what's going to happen in Endgame and
And
what
it was a
happens in
connection
Captain
because
Marvel.
that
There was a connection. There was.
that
It
call
didn't. Yeah, the
that Nick
call came
Fury
from.
made
There was a connection. So people, because of the placement of it, I believe, really helped it. It
helped it.
wasn't
Yep.
just because it wasn't just because it was that good of a movie. The placement of it really helped it. Um, Now, I'm not going to say I don't think the Marvels was that great of a movie, and I think that helped it not perform
The
well. But the Brie
well,
Larson
I'll
factor
put
is a factor. The Brie Larson factor is a factor because you gotta remember also, Ralph. There's a bunch of people, and I mean a bunch of people, that are really unhappy with Marvel doing kind of going the route of really pushing the female factor to the forefront. um Kind of just pushing the whole female
the woman
factor
empowerment.
or gender, whatever you want to call it, to the forefront. There are a lot of fans that are, and then what happens is you got these scoopers and you got these blogs and stuff that feed into that. That's just like I saw a headline saying, well, the Fantastic Four movie is going to be focusing on, female. It's going to be focusing on Sue Storm, and it's going to be a female race swap. I mean, not race swap, a gender swap with the Silver Surfer, and also, which is BS. That's not going to happen. But the point is, they're just doing that because people, that's what they call it. They're calling it the MCU now. They're not even calling it the MCU. People call it the MCU because they're
Of all the
pushing
woman empowerment.
female. Right. They're pushing more of a woman empowerment thing, pushing female characters to the forefront, whatever. And people are not happy because they feel like they're just not getting quality content from it. That's just what people are feeling, right? So that is a factor. Because that's why Brie Larson is more than likely not coming back as Captain Marvel, because at this point she's kind of like, what's the point? You know what I mean? I even if I turn out, and she did, for as far as character wise go, there was one director. The first one had two directors, and she was all over the place, acting wise, character wise, tone wise. it was all over the place. The first movie, I did not like Captain Marvel. I don't care if it made $1 billion. I didn't like it, but this one, I liked her performance way better in the Marvels because, well, you have one director. You know where you're on the same page of where you're going with the character, and I think her performance was better or just as good. Or it was not just as good. It was better. It was more consistent. But the film storyline wasn't better than overall. And once again, the placement of it. It is post-pandemic. It is, but even though I'm not going to use the pandemic as an excuse no more because we're in 2023, right? And people there's other films. I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy made $845 million, which came out right before the Marvels. So I'm not going to use it as this pandemic as an excuse no more. But even Wakanda Forever made worldwide $853 million. So I can't use that no more. It's really also the quality of the overall film, and yes, the Brie Larson. It's the same thing that happened with Ezra Miller, the Ezra Miller factor on the performance of the Flash. A lot of people who Ezra Miller got a lot of people that don't want to mess with him, and because of that, they didn't support the Flash. So it does matter when your star of the movie is just not liked amongst the general fan base of this thing. These are the people that decide whatever. They didn't really I think by the time Brie Larson's what she said, Captain Marvel was already done. It was already, wrapped or whatever the case may be. May have been already getting ready to come. She might even said that during the promotion of it. I don't know when she actually said whatever it was that she said. And but that kind of became a thing after the movie came out where people were still, because I mean, literally, you can even go on YouTube right now and look at reaction videos, crowd reactions to Avengers Endgame, and there was literally some people in the theaters was literally booing Brie Larson when her character comes on screen, literally saving the day. But there was people booing her character because you got a good general amount of people that were whatever angry. But so all I'm saying is this, and I want to say this to kind of back up the last thing that I said about what yes, we consider the pandemic, of course, but what I mean is the Marvels, like we said, didn't even make its budget back. It had a $275 million budget, and it didn't even break that back. It didn't even break even. Everything else before that, including Ant-Man, Quantum Mania, obviously Wakanda Forever, all of those, every movie before that actually made profit. You know what I mean? Ant-Man was a $200 million budget. It made $463 million worldwide. So it still made a profit, right? 200 million. It doubled its profit. It doubled its budget. You have Guardians. We already know that. That made a nice profit. It was 250, made 845. You got all of them, everyone. This was the Marvels was the only movie that didn't make a profit. Even Black Widow, which came out post-pandemic, in the height of the post-pandemic, even that made a profit. It was a $200 million budget. It made $379 million worldwide. It still made a profit. So that's a problem. You have to look at also, the quality of the film wasn't the greatest, but it helped. The Brie Larson factor did contribute to it. It's not the only factor. I agree with you, Ralph. That definitely, but I don't agree with that. It has nothing to do with it. It was a factor, but
I'm
it wasn't.
I'm looking up about what she said. Basically, she said that she was pushing. The people felt she was pushing the idea of feminism, right?
Yeah, that's what it is. People,
that she wanted more people, more women, and more people of color to be doing interviews with her on the press junket, right? And I was always sitting here saying, okay, well, if that's the case, Scarlett Johansson be saying the same thing, but there's not a level of hate for her. There's not a level of hate for Emma Watson or Natalie Portman.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you there. I mean,
But that's
people are
because
just crazy, and
people
sometimes
don't like
they just decide
and they don't like
who they want. Yeah, some people just want to do that, and I'm gonna tell you right now. Let's keep it. And I don't want to make this political, but a lot of it is because of that. You have a certain group of political based people that bring that into the movies. And don't get me wrong, sometimes the movies do it too. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes the movies put that out there too. But then they get so disgusted by it, saying, "Oh my God, she's a feminist," and then they lose their minds. When people like myself, who I can give a f about that, just give me an entertaining movie. That's all I care about. And even if I don't want to sit there and see anybody's agenda on any way, shape, or form be pushed or forced in a movie. But just because someone says something a certain way, and they could be a certain way, I'm not that type of person that's going to hold that against them when it comes to what movie or their profession, because once again, I don't know these people personally, and I don't understand why people get so hung up and angry about what a person's personal view is. That's why we got cancel culture, right? Someone has that's why we're not getting the next Scream movie, because that girl gave her opinion on what's going on with the war, Palestine, and all that stuff, and now all of a sudden it becomes this big thing. She gets punished for saying it, and then she gets fired, and then everyone else walks out. So now it's just like we don't get entertained because just because someone didn't agree with someone else's personal opinion. Has nothing to do with their professional work, So I mean, that's what it is, and it's just like people, whatever, when Mel Gibson was going went crazy on his wife or girlfriend, and went on a racial tirade, right? And saying the N-word and this, that, and the other, and went crazy, on it, went off on her. Does that make me does that mean I'm not gonna watch the next Mel Gibson movie? Probably not. I mean, probably it doesn't mean that for me. I mean, I'm just like, well, Mel Gibson is crazy, but that's what he does. But what do I care? Clint Eastwood is a known conservative, right? He's been that way forever. Gonna watch a Clint Eastwood movie? Heck, of course I am. Because Clint Eastwood is here for me. Clint Eastwood is here for one thing: to entertain me. Now he's an entertainer, right? He's here for one reason and one reason only: to entertain me. I could care less what his political views are. I don't care what his religious views are. I don't care. So people who get so bothered by these feminists, and I mean, I don't agree with them either, but I don't get so bothered by them that I'm gonna just go crazy. It's just like it's ridiculous. But yeah, with these numbers, Ralph, I tell you, it's surprising that that's the only film that didn't make any profit.
I'm definitely surprised because I did not like the Eternals. I did not really like Ant-Man.
Eternals made a profit though. Yeah, it made a profit. There's a lot of films that I didn't like, but Eternals still doubled its budget. It was a $200 million budget.
Yes, it did.
Made $400 million.
The only movie the only one that I actually liked was Shang-Chi. I love Shang-Chi. I thought that rocked.
I love Shang-Chi, and that almost, that definitely doubled. It went more than doubled its budget. It was $150 million budget. It made $432 million, worldwide. So, I mean, it's a whole thing, bro. But, I definitely think, I know Kev is such a Kev makes, and I we lost him. He's going to come back. It's his opinion. He doesn't feel that yes, most people realize that they are definitely in turmoil, because if you think about it, the last film that made $1 billion, because you remember at one point $1 billion became their standard, because if you think about it, from Black Panther on, you had Black Panther made $1 billion, you had Infinity War made $2 billion, Then Ant-Man and the Wasp didn't make $1 billion, but then Captain Marvel made $1 billion. Right after that, Endgame, $2 billion. Spider-Man Far From Home, $1 billion. You know what I'm saying? So at that point, it became that, and that was in 2019. Okay, then the pandemic hits. 2021, they released Black Widow, which was a simultaneous release from theater and it was a simultaneous release with theater and streaming, and it still at least made a profit. So we don't count. I don't think we should count Black Widow. We shouldn't even count Shang-Chi. You know what I'm saying? Eternals was also 2021. These were tough movies, but then here comes Spider-Man: No Way Home, $1 billion. You see what I'm saying? Almost $2 billion, $1.9 billion. Spider-Man: No Way Home comes out at the end of 2021. Right? That was one of them willing to risk it all films, because up until that point, I had not been back to the theater myself to see any. I did not see Black Widow in the theater. I did not see Shang-Chi in the theater. I did not see Eternals in the theater. So up until that point, I hadn't even been back to the theater. Spider-Man: No Way Home, that was a risk it all factor for me. I was willing to risk it all to go back to the theater. I went back there. I was about to pull a Kev and go with my hazmat mask, like Kev went with the whole thing. So I was about to pull that joint. But yeah, like I said, Doctor Strange almost made $1 billion. Doctor Strange almost. I think what it was,
but it wasn't that great though. It wasn't that great.
It wasn't that great. But you know what it was? It's anything. If you look at this pattern, any movie that was tied to the Infinity Saga
did well.
Did well. Yeah, made a big profit, because the Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, along with Spider-Man: No Way Home, was kind of like the final connection.
Yeah,
right, connection to the Infinity Saga, because Multiverse of Madness actually kind of ushered in the new multiverse saga. It kind of ushered it in, but it still had the connection because of Spider-Man being in it. And not Spider-Man, that was No Way Home. But just the whole multiverse, it kind of still had the connection with Doctor Strange and this, that, and the other. So I think Spider-Man was the last, like, Spider-Man: No Way Home was probably the final, like, MCU, Infinity type of connection to the Infinity Saga, because it actually showed what happened after the snap, right?
It was about the snap,
as they call it. Right. It showed about what happened after the blip and people coming back and stuff like that. So they had to finally pick that up. So that's why, once again, anything connected to, I didn't even realize Spider-Man worldwide, Spider-Man: No Way Home almost made $2 billion. I did not know that. I'm looking at it right now. 1.9 billion that No Way Home made. Boy, Sony was loving that, I'm sure. But that's when they start saying, you know what, we're gonna play nice with Marvel, because Marvel's bringing in that bread for us. So getting that MCU.
Well, we're gonna see on Friday with that. That's we're gonna see on Friday that spider thing come out on Friday. The what was it?
What? Madam Web.
Yeah, Madam Web comes out on Friday.
Yeah, but I that even though but that's not a MCU movie. The only movie that falls under the real MCU, Marvel Cinematic Universe, was the Spider-Man, separate Spider-Man movies. All the other ones, they are in association with Marvel, right? That's what they're gonna always say, in association with Marvel. But they didn't do that with Spider-Man. It came in with it was part of the MCU. That was their negotiation with them, right? So I don't know. I don't really expect that movie. Once again, that falls under the almost looks like, to me, honestly, and I don't care. I'm not someone who hates feminists and all this other stuff, but I'm just looking at it like I saw from the announcement of it. I'm like, why? Once again, all of these, and there it is. Kev comes on with the mask on.
Wow.
My my thing is this: from the announcement of it, I'm like, come on. I treat that movie just like I treat it, even though it may be a decent movie. Some people like the what was it, Venom. Some people like this. I treat them all the same. Why are we having these movies if Spider-Man is not in them? So these are all characters pertaining to Spider-Man. They all exist because of Spider-Man. Why the hell do I want to see a movie that Spider-Man is not in? Hell, they even put Bruce Wayne in Joker. You see what I'm saying? At least there was a movie called The Joker that is, yes, if we didn't have Batman, we wouldn't have the Joker, right? But at least Bruce Wayne was in it. He was a
Batman's in
young Bruce
Suicide
Wayne.
Squad. Batman's in Suicide Squad.
He was in Suicide Squad. Exactly. He was in the Suicide Squad. Joker and all and it rightfully so he was in Suicide Squad because half of those people in the Suicide Squad were Batman villains. So they were mostly all of them were Batman villains. So hell yeah, he needs to be in the Suicide. At least make a cameo. So can I at least get a cameo from any of the Spider-Mans? I don't care if it's Toby, Andrew, or Tom. I wanted any of them.
Well,
give me a cameo.
well, you're not going to get that because. Can you guys hear me? First of all.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
Okay. Well, you're not. Yeah, you need the Darth Vader voice box to put inside the mask. I forgot to put it in the mask. But you're not going to get that because they don't want to give up their rights to Spider-Man, and the only way they can keep that contract fulfilled is they got to keep making content. The moment that they stop making content,
keep making content,
the rights is back to Marvel. So they're going to continue to keep making content
to make all of this BS. Yeah,
our dumbasses are still going to go out and go see it instead of boycotting.
I'm not running. Yeah, right. I agree. I'm not running to see it. I might see it, casually. I might see it, but the thing is, and Sony kind of is playing themselves because of No Way Home, they reintroduced and repopularized the other Spider-Man characters, the other Spider-Man actors. So why not take one of them that you have under contract or whatever in your side of the universe? Even if hell, Tom Holland is their actor. So why not take one of them and throw them in these little side movies? You had to actually wait till the one that the MCU produced, No Way Home, to see Tom, whatever his name, Venom, pop up in an end credit scene. That's because Marvel was overseeing that. Tom Hardy. Right. That's because Marvel was overseeing that whole situation. So, but then when Sony steps off and do the things themselves, such as Morbius, Mobius, and Venom, you have little hints, right? You have little hints of whatever Spider-Man. Why not a cameo? Why not a cameo? They're being cheap. They don't want to pay the actor
and the
to
sad
come
part
in
about
and
that is Mobius was actually and the sad part about that is Mobius was actually another good movie, and pulled another Zack Snyder and just cut the hell out of it just so they can get it out, just to put a movie out. And again, not caring about the character, not caring about the content, only thinking about the box office. And that movie could have been a lot more well received. And Mobius could have been a part of the Midnight Suns if they would have played it right. Because that's another thing that Marvel is thinking about going with Blade. and Mobius is a part of that universe. So I don't.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
The
the funny
frustration.
thing is, like I said, that's a whole nother, thing for me. I mean, yeah, it maybe if they would have, I'm sure that if they would have, maybe, I don't say I'm sure, but maybe if they would have, you know, cut it differently or whatever the case may be, it might have been better. I for one, once again, yeah, it was cut. It was cut a lot. But I personally, even though they kind of got like what you said, Kev, they kind of got the same type of Snyder treatment. But however, I don't know if it's comparing it to what Zack did with Batman vs Superman. I wouldn't compare Morbius to that because I think even if the full version wouldn't have stood on that level. I don't think it was that good of a movie from the begin with. But I definitely didn't help it that it happened. But once again, that doesn't fall under the MCU anyway. That's just Sony. The only one, obviously, we know the only property that falls under the MCU is the Spider-Man him alone character. Um, and that's what they do as a collaboration. Even though it's a collaboration, it falls under the MCU because that's why I'm looking up the numbers for the MCU. And of course, those movies aren't going to fall in there. You're not going to see Morbius. You're not going to see Venom. You're not going to see Madam Web. You're not going to see those movies because they don't fall under the MCU banner. They only negotiated Spider-Man because they had to. You got to have the opportunity to have Spider-Man in the MCU. So it's like I said, when you look at the money, uh that's why he said now the slate, you got Deadpool 3 or Deadpool and Wolverine that comes out this year. Right now they have Captain America Brave New World slated for February 14th of next year. Then they have Fantastic Four slated for May of 2025. Thunderbolts, July of 2025. Blade, November of 2025. I'm telling you right now, I will guarantee you this is going to change again. Because number one, I don't think they're putting out 1, 2, 3, 4 movies in 2025. I just don't think they're going to do that because they're trying to back that out. They're trying to back that up a little bit. I think they're going, they'll probably push Blade because it's really no progress in Blade. They're probably going to push Blade and maybe Fantastic Four. These are movies that's not even being, well, they're starting to cast Fantastic Four. And I assume the script is done. I don't know for sure. But Thunderbolts, they kind of have already cast.
They already
working on
started
the script. And
production on Thunderbolts.
They started production on Thunderbolts. So that's why I believe Thunderbolts and Captain America will come out because they kind of connect anyway. Captain America Brave New World and the Thunderbolts will probably be the two movies to come out in 2025. I believe Blade and Fantastic Four will be pushed to 2026. If not, Fantastic Four pushed to the very end of 2025 because it's now 2024 and they haven't started production on Fantastic Four yet. So there's a lot of post work that's gonna have to be done with that. When you got Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, you got the Rock, the Thing, you got the stretchy There's a lot of post production that's got to be done on that, and they haven't started principal photography yet. That is not coming out in 2025. I just don't see it. Not May of 2025. That's almost exactly a year. It's like a year and a couple of months from now for it to be done, finished, post, and released. That's not happening. So, those would be pushed back. Then it says here, untitled Marvel movie. I don't know what that's supposed to be. Then the Kang Dynasty, which right now I don't know if they changed it yet. Whatever they're gonna do with that, that's supposedly in 2026. And then these other Marvel movies and Secret Wars is supposedly 2027. That could still happen, but once again, judging from now, we're in 2023. 2027 is only what 4 years away
Right.
for Secret Wars. With all the stuff that Secret Wars shouldn't happen till like 2030, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like 27. That's 4 years away, and you got one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 films in between now and what they got Secret Wars slated. That's too much. That's too much. That's not gonna happen.
Not too much.
They should just go ahead and that's way too much. They need to do, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, man. It took you 10 years to do the Infinity Saga. That's pretty much the way it should have flowed. They still was giving you 2 movies a year with that for the most part. So, but I mean, like I said, if they go by the slate now, we're gonna get 4 movies in 2025. I mean, I don't see that happening anyway, but at the same time, that's a lot. That's a lot. You're not giving us time to digest what's going on in these films. So you're talking about in a matter of, well, including Deadpool, we already know.
If all the films are
But
tied together,
February 14th,
you're
right? February 14th is Captain America. Then May is Fantastic Four, and then July is Thunderbolts. I mean, just by definition, you're not giving us time to digest. And then supposedly November would have been Blade. That ain't happening either. Blade it's not even on the radar. They haven't even finished the script again. They keep rewriting the script. They not finished the script.
The last rewrite of the script is at the end of last summer. If I'm not mistaken, they finished the script now.
They don't have a final script. They don't have a final script. They don't have a final script yet. They're not going to start production until the script is completely finished and they're happy with it. They don't have a final script that they're happy with. Let me rephrase that. So if they have a script, they're not happy with it, or else they would have started production already. Because if you're trying to go for a 2025 release, you should be getting ready to start production no later than the summer of this year. No later than that, because they're going for a winter release, November 7th, 2025. A winter release. Yeah, there's a lot left to be desired with what's going on. And these films, for the slate of them, to be honest with you, what film, especially the only film in this slate that I was quote unquote excited about was Blade, and now it's lost its luster to me because of all of the nonsense that's going on with it. Then you got Fantastic Four, yeah. Okay, Fantastic Four.
The opposite for me, because
I'm not super excited to see Captain America: Brave New World. Thunderbolts, I'm not really excited about that. Thunderbolts, I'm not overly excited about that title. You know, like I said, Blade, yeah. But then at the same time, from day one, I wasn't 100% satisfied with them not recasting Wesley Snipes and casting Mahershala Ali. I still have my skepticism about that, and I'll have to he's just gonna have to do what other actors have done and prove me wrong or win me over, as far as I'm concerned, is playing Blade, because he is not an action actor, in my opinion. So he has to, in my opinion, he has to win me over for me to say, yeah, that was a good casting. Look wise, it was a good casting. He looks like Blade, but in my opinion, whatever. So we'll see what happens. But they can't, then they wrestling with the R-rated thing. Then they decide they're going to do R-rated. Then it's this and that. And they keep changing the script up. Then they change directors up. And it's just like, that's turmoil. That is turmoil. That is a turmoil. Blade. It's almost becoming a joke now. Like what? Like when are y'all gonna get this right? What's so hard about this? You have a blueprint of it. It literally started the MCU. What is so hard about this? Getting this right. So, I mean, yeah, that's what I mean by they got a real. That's why they got a reel it in, man. They're doing too much right now. It's not, and it's showing. It's showing because the people are not feeling it. It's showing. So they got to push this stuff back. Secret Wars to be 4 years from now, that doesn't make sense to me. Everything that has to be explained in the next 4 years, if they keep the release date of May 7th, 2027.
Well, not really.
We haven't even Dr. Doom hasn't even been introduced. We haven't even been introduced to Dr. Doom yet. We haven't been introduced to Miles Morales except for through the animated world. Miles Morales, who is a part of Secret Wars, hasn't been introduced in live action.
But the one thing you're forgetting, Wes, is how are they going to do Secret Wars? Are they going to do?
We already know what we already know what they're doing. They're going with the more modern version of Secret Wars. They're not going with the old school version of it. That's already been kind of confirmed by almost every scooper.
I think they're going to do both. I don't.
They may have elements of it, but them the version that they're doing, guarantee you, will have.
It is. It's going to be the Jonathan Hickman version, but
right
at the same time, I think there's going to be elements of the first one.
I mean, but what I'm saying is
that they're going to tie
in here,
into it.
right? In this slate between Secret Wars and now, right? They got 1, 2, 3.
The other thing. Hold on a second. The other thing I wanted to say is the one thing we got to remember about Secret Wars is there's no precursor to Secret Wars, really, except for some stuff that happened with Dr. Doom and all that. But for the most
there's no
part,
precursor, but there's a lot of characters that have to be still introduced, or at least brought into our lives. There's a lot of characters that still got to be, even though you may know them. But the Fantastic Four needs to be, and when I say introduced, I don't mean origin. I just mean officially presented into the MCU. Has to be. Fantastic Four. We're getting mutants in Deadpool. I believe Deadpool is going to be the first. The events in Deadpool, I believe, is going to be the first introduction to what will come in Secret Wars. And most definitely it will be, because there was an Easter egg. There's literally a Secret Wars comic book in Deadpool, in the Deadpool trailer.
I think it's going to be in credits. The end credits of every movie that's coming out between now and Secret Wars are going to be the movies where people start disappearing, like in the original version of Secret Wars.
Right, exactly. So where people start disappearing. Right. But see, the thing is, you gotta do it the same way you did with your Infinity Saga, right? When you had your end credit scenes, you were seeing certain things happen, things that was connecting to Thanos. They showed Thanos pretty early in the game. He didn't say nothing, but they showed him early in the game. Then a couple other movies, they didn't show him, and then he popped up in in credits of other movies. Like they really walked us into what was gonna happen in Infinity War, right? Like they walked us into it.
The only thing I didn't like about and the only thing I don't like about how they walked us into it is they led us to believe early on that they were going to go with the original Infinity War father story, and they had him sitting on his throne in space, and that in that storyline, that's where he was everything he was doing to impress Madam Death.
Yeah,
So,
they did,
that
but
was the only
being that
thing I didn't like.
I
How
didn't
he changed
expect
that.
that. I personally didn't expect that because they never really introduced Madam Death. You know what I mean? So being that they never introduced her in any of the movies, I didn't expect that. And they did kind of line us up for it because of, you know, Gamora with the Guardians and stuff like that,
Well, he
and
turned
those
into
people.
well, also, yeah, and also they kind of sort of use Hela as being Death in Thor Ragnarok.
Right. Well, kind of, yeah. But like I said, they lined us up for that. They lined us up perfectly. The way Ragnarok ended, the way, you know, so that lined us up for what was going to happen in Infinity War. Now, they're going to have to do that. They're going to have to find a way to do that with these movies that's coming in between. They're starting with Deadpool. Deadpool's gonna be the introduction to stuff that's happening, that will happen in Secret Wars. You may get some introduction to certain characters that we haven't met yet in the MCU. It's definitely a tie to it. That's why they threw that Easter egg in there about, you know, with the Infinity, with the Secret Wars comic book laying right next to Deadpool. All right. So we're definitely going to get some sort of stuff, but there's only so much you could do in the movie. I don't care if the movie's 3 hours, there's only so much you could do as far as that goes. So then the other movies following it, Captain America, Fantastic Four, in my opinion, needs to be almost directly connected to Secret Wars. You know what I'm saying? Especially with Reed Richards being involved. So we don't know what that story is going to be, but in my opinion, it has to be. Blade is the only one that doesn't have to be connected to it. Thunderbolts, whatever, maybe. But Blade, in my opinion, is the only one that doesn't have to be. It'd be good if it is connected. I think they all should be connected, but Kang Dynasty obviously has to be directly connected to Secret Wars. Yes, and Fantastic Four, yes, and then they got 3 untitled quote unquote Marvel movies on the slate. Those should be somewhere in there. Maybe another Spider-Man film might fall in there, where they may introduce Miles Morales by that time. You know, at least one mutant movie gotta fall in there. At least one mutant movie, whether it's X-Men or something else that involve. You know, they're starting to introduce the X-Men now, starting to introduce the mutants, which is great. You know, we will definitely see them in Deadpool. You know, but yeah, man. So that's pretty much that. We'll have to look at that and see what it is. And going forward. And that's that. The last thing I'll cover is when we're going back to the Super Bowl thing, you know, because everybody always talks about it. You know, people have been talking about this nonsense that was going on with the Super Bowl halftime performance. Usher's Super Bowl halftime performance. I left a poll on when people come into the chat room to rate the Usher performance in your opinion. Where's the Usher performance for somebody just asked on Instagram, Kev, what the hell is up with that mask? So,
Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
it was just to give you some insight. If you just joined us, this was the mask that Kev was wearing so he could not during the pandemic, so he doesn't miss going to the movies. Oh, what up, Tony? That was Tony Perez who asked that. Yeah, that's because that was what he wore to not miss going to the movie theater during the pandemic. That's how much of a movie head Kev is. I, for one, I said earlier, I did not go back to the movies until Spider-Man No Way Home. That's what brought me back to the movies. I missed I missed Eternals, I missed Shang-Chi, and I missed Black Widow all in the movies. I didn't go see any of those movies during the pandemic or right after, whatever. Spider-Man No Way Home, I did go see, and I did see Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I saw both of those in the movies. So yeah, but meanwhile, Kev was going to the theater looking like one of the people from ET. Yeah, looking like one of the people from ET in the hazmat suits.
and it was necessary because you had to sit in the back of the, you sitting in the back of the theater, and people would come into the theater like, you would go in there thinking it's only going to be 5, and then out the blue, you get 40 or 50 people that buy tickets, and now you're stuck in the theater with all these people, and then you start hearing people cough, and your mind starts going crazy.
Yo, the first time you hear someone, I went to see No Way Home. Yo, the first person that coughed, I was like, I'm sitting there like, like that Kermit the Frog meme they got with Kermit's like, that's how I was with first person. And but ever since then, I always bought 2 seats because I didn't want nobody. I normally sit on the end. I'm not a middle person. I sit on the end. So I buy the seat next to my left, and there's no one to my right. So I don't have anyone sitting near me. Right. So that's how I do. And I've been doing that since Spider-Man No Way Home, and I still do it today. Because now I just don't want nobody next to me. Unless it's somebody I know. If it's somebody that I went to the movie with, that's different. We went, a couple times. I went to movies with India. Of course, I'm not gonna make her sit a seat away from me. You know what I'm saying? Well, I went to movies with whoever, my friend. I'm like, oh yeah, let's go see the movie. But if I'm not going with you, then no. I don't want you sitting next to me.
I'm gonna tell you, in the early days of the pandemic was beautiful, man. They were making people sit. You had people sitting 6 to 3 seats on either side of you, spaced out, and 1 row ahead. So the row in front of you would be, and then there would be nobody next to you, 3 to 4 seats on either side. It was beautiful. If you sat in the middle, if you sat in the back, the seats are already spaced out in the back, so you really didn't have that problem. But I hate it when they started lifting the restrictions. People would buy tickets and come sit next to people. It'll be like, yo, it's a whole big theater in here, and you purposely chose
to be in the seat next to me.
You gotta sit next to me. Move.
It's like people felt like they wanted to have that camaraderie, and they just wanted to, like sit next to some people are like that.
Listen, I made people feel bad because I was mumbling out loud. Who does that? Who buys a seat? One guy actually got up and left and went and found another seat. Because I'm like, it's a whole pandemic going on, and you just gonna purposely find a seat to sit next to somebody? Who does that? I would say this junk out loud and make people uncomfortable. Because it was like, I don't want you sitting next to me. Get away.
That's why I was just like, you know what? Nah. And I saw people before I started. I just bought the seat so I can just be sure about it. One time I went to the movies in between all of that, and I didn't buy the seat next to me, but I put a bunch of stuff in it, and then somebody, like, people were bypassing, but then someone bought the seat because you buy the seat before you even come in the theater, so nobody knows that I'm stuffing things in it to keep people from sitting next to me. But I can't stand the as my brother used to say, the unaware, I don't care people that just don't, they walk up and they done bought a seat, and it may not even be the seat next to you, but they still want to try to sit in that seat. Like, they're not even paying attention. I'm like, bruh.
I'm telling you, man, between them and the people, and this was a thing that wasn't happening before the pandemic. That started happening during the pandemic. People started sneaking into theaters again and just plopping down into seats. And I would walk in and I'm like, yo, you're in my seat. And they'd be like, oh, I got a ticket. I'm like, well, here's my ticket. Let me see your ticket. And a couple of times, if it's a couple and they're older, I don't say nothing. because they obviously some couples they see the open seat and they're like, well, I'm not going to jam myself up, because then they realize they bought a ticket too close to the screen. So I'm like, all right, yeah, I can go find me another open seat. You're elderly, I understand. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna make a big deal about it, but next time, understand, if you pay for a seat, understand what you're doing. Look at the seats.
Please get the hell
and
out of
pay
my way.
attention to
Forget
the
that
theater
elderly stuff.
you're in.
Yeah,
But
Forget that
you nice with me, bro. I had a couple one time ask me. I was a real jerk that day. I had a couple ask me, because I think like the seat next to me was bought, and then it was something. Whereas if I would have moved my seat, they would be able to sit next to each other, like right next to each other. I was like, nah, I ain't moving.
Well, that's foul. That's foul.
Because I didn't want to leave my seat. My seat was on the end. I like that, because if I'm going to be forced to have people to my left, I don't want nobody to my left. I got no one to my right, because that's just the stairs that goes down to whatever. So I was like, now.
Like, come on, bro. Just give us a break.
Like I said, if it's a couple, I'll grumble, especially if it's a young couple. I'll talk a lot of shit, and then I'll be like, all right, I'll just find another seat. But yo, you need to understand, even though I'm late, you in my seat, because there were a couple of times I was, because I was getting popcorn or whatever. I came in like right when the movie was beginning, or right when the trailers were ending.
That's the word.
And motherfuckers be in my seat.
You might be. I might be.
And I get tight because it jams up the whole experience. Because now I'm mad, and now it's got to take me about 20 minutes to calm down before I can get into the movie. And by that time, I'm missing
weird.
shit in the movie.
You bought your seats. How are you in the wrong seat when you purchased your seat? You literally had to pick your seat. How are you sitting in the wrong seat? Now, the only time I'll give that a pass is if, like, for instance, if you got the end, right? Say you bought the end seat and you went to the wrong end. Like, you went to one end and you thought that was your seat, but it wasn't, But once again, that's the I don't care, unaware people. Just look at the number. It's right on the chair. It's right on the chair.
Listen.
Just like, I thought this was my seat. Well, why did you think that? Well, what number do you have? I got number 20. Well, this is number 1. 20 and 1 are two different numbers. So how did you think this was your seat?
This is K. And the funny thing is, the letter of the seat is my name. Is Kevin. But this is K10, and your thing says B6. Take your ass to the front. Goodbye. Move. And I remember one couple, they came late.
If your numbers, if you're in the B's and you end up in the K's, you just try to be slick. You just try to take what you want.
Yeah.
That means,
I wasn't having it.
They looked at, you know what they did, Kev? They looked at the map and they said, "Oh man, somebody took that seat that I wanted." Then they got there, maybe before you, or maybe you went to get popcorn, saw that you wasn't there. Maybe the trailers are starting. Oh, that person's not coming. Let me go get that seat.
And they don't understand. I'm gonna explain to y'all the rule of sneaking into theaters. If you're gonna sneak into a theater, you chill in the back of the theater until you know that you know, which is 20 minutes into the movie, that nobody's coming. And then if the seat is empty, you go and claim that seat. If you sit in the seat during the trailer, the person is guaranteed to pop up, and you're gonna have to embarrass yourself. This shit's embarrassing.
It's embarrassing, and it's embarrassing on both ends. It's embarrassing.
It's like getting caught stealing.
Right. It's not so much embarrassing to us, but it's awkward. It's just like, bro, you're in my seat. Oh no, I thought this was my seat. Well, I understand you thought it was your seat, but it's not. I have the receipt for it here. So,
and the day and age that we're in, you can't listen. The day and age that we're in, even the baddest dude can't be running off the mouth because you don't know what you're running into in a movie theater.
Yeah.
So now you go. Not only are you in the wrong seat, but you might get your. But now you might get your ass beat. So it's just easier just to swallow your pride and get up and move.
Yeah, get up and move because you don't know what's gonna happen or whatever. So that's that. But anyhow, so back to the Usher thing, and then we're gonna end the show. So Usher performance, if I'm a rated, if I'm a rated, overall as a performance, I'm gonna give it like an 8.5. Yeah. I'm gonna give it like an 8.5 overall as performance. I thought he executed fine. He sounded fine. He didn't, he wasn't sounding bad. As far as his sound, of course
He was singing
entertained
and he was
danced.
singing to everything too.
Right. That's what I'm saying. He's singing, dancing, and he didn't sound bad. So definitely give him credit for that. His overall show was fine. His set list was good. It flowed well. So yeah, I'm gonna say I'm giving him an 8.5 overall performance. Now, where does he land as far as being compared to other Super Bowl performances? I'm still trying to wrap my mind around that, but
number four,
probably somewhere in the top. I was gonna say probably somewhere in the top 5 and definitely in the top 10. Yeah, you say 8. I think yeah, because obviously we all, in my opinion, it definitely wasn't better than Prince. It definitely wasn't better than Michael.
He wasn't better than Beyonce. He wasn't.
It wasn't better than Beyonce's. The one. Well, she had a couple, but that one that she had on her own, that one, it wasn't better than that one. Yeah, there's a couple others
behind the West Coast.
Yeah, the West Coast rapper thing.
The West Coast rapper thing. That's always going to be between that and Prince. That's 1A and 1B.
Yeah.
Like
I think
Prince started singing "Purple Rain" and it started raining. That.
Yeah, I mean that to me. I think that's a unanimous. That's unanimous. Prince, just the magnitude of it, the whole impact of it all was just and the stakes. The stakes were high because he actually was advised not to go out there and perform because of the rain and stuff like that, or be careful, whatever. Like it was ill-advised. They were like, I would not have you're out there using electrical equipment and it's freaking pouring. But of course, it's the Super Bowl. They should have had, first of all, all of that thought out.
Contingency.
When you're in if you are in a city where you're doing the Super Bowl and it's possible that it could rain, which is a bad decision from the beginning. But if you're in a city where you're doing the Super Bowl and it's possible that it could rain, you need to be prepared for that. But it wasn't just that it was raining, it was like raining bad. It was lightning and everything. Yeah, it was it wasn't a lot of lightning, but people were saying like it was like bad.
It was a bad thunderstorm.
Yeah, like you got this electrical equipment out here, not very the smartest thing that we should do, but guess what? He did it, and it was epic. It was epic. Michael Jackson, of course, Michael started that whole big extravaganza halftime show. He laid the blueprint for that because all the other stuff before him was Disney out there with characters jumping around and shit. So and before that, he really kind of started and laid the foundation for the big superstar performer putting on a show. Once again, Michael being that
even Justin who was it? Justin Timberlake?
I didn't like his performance.
He gets no love because
I liked his
especially what he did to Janet. He definitely gets
no love. No love.
But what he did to Janet and threw her under the bus, that F him
under the bus. Yeah.
and on top of that, he disrespected Prince. In my opinion, he disrespected Prince because Prince didn't F with him, and he knows that he knows that Prince never wanted no fake hologram or anything like that out there. Once he's gone, he's gone. And just because Justin Timberlake wanted to do a Prince thing, because I believe it was in Minneapolis, that's why he wanted to, quote unquote, pay tribute to Prince. But he wasn't really paying tribute to Prince, because you paying tribute to Prince would be not doing any Prince music. Because he wouldn't have gave you the permission to do it if he was alive. So you know he didn't mess with you. So why you even going there? So to me, and
cultural,
and when you exactly, and on
but
top
he was
of
the
that,
one. But
you
was
kind
it?
of
But was it? But
disrespected
wasn't
him
him?
when he died.
Yeah, but wasn't him? It was him that brought Missy out, right? Was it Justin that brought Missy out? Who brought Missy out?
I don't remember. No, I don't
That was
remember who
Janet,
brought Missy
wasn't
out, but it wasn't. No,
Wasn't it
I
Janet that
don't
brought
remember.
No,
Missy
that
out?
wasn't Janet that brought.
No, she came out with somebody else. Was it Katy
It was
Perry?
later
No,
on.
it
It
was
was
some.
in
I
the
thought it
late
was a white
2000s.
artist. Yeah,
Or,
I thought
It
it was
was a white artist. I
maybe,
just can't think of
or
who.
maybe it was Beyonce.
wasn't Beyonce.
No, it wasn't
either.
Beyonce. It was it was a white artist, and I can't think of who it was. Oh, was it Shakira?
I don't remember. I have to look it up. But regardless, Justin Timberlake. First of all, it wasn't even that great of a performance. Justin Timberlake's performance. Uh, and that's to put on top of the fact that I wasn't messing with him anyway. But it wasn't even. I'm not a person like that. If I'm not messing with you, but you still put on a phenomenal performance, I'm gonna admit and give credit where credit is due. But nah, he's not even
Not this
on.
time.
He's not even in my top 10.
Nah.
But yeah, I'd put Usher somewhere between 5 and 8
Oh, it was Katy Perry
on my list. That's what I said. Katy Perry. Yep, it was Katy Perry. Yep. So I put not Justin. I put Usher anywhere between 5 and 8. Anywhere between 5 and 8, maybe even a little higher than that. But I just wasn't, I enjoyed it though. I think Usher, he picked a solid uh set list. He still didn't do all his hits. I mean, he just couldn't get them all in, but he did a lot of his most important songs. He did not do "You Make Me." I didn't see that. I didn't see him do any part of that. Uh, he did a quick little. Everything was thrown in. It was like a master mix, right? But then, so to end this chapter, to end this show, we'll go on to. So he brings out Alicia Keys. Alicia Keys comes out, does her thing. She looks phenomenal. She looks awesome in her outfit. She did crack a couple of times, which kind of caught my attention. But Alicia does that quite often. Sometimes she'll crack her once or twice. But they did. He he let her do a little bit of "If I Ain't Got You," which he also did a remix with her on that. So he joined her for a little bit on that with her on the piano. Then she got up and they did "My Boo," which is the single that they had together. And obviously during that performance, they end the performance with her standing in front of him, and he comes up behind her, he hugs her from behind, and that became the image that we have been seeing for the last freaking 24 hours. At this point, everybody has this
and I
losing their minds over this whole thing, and it dates back to the Usher residency performances, where everybody wants to make this big deal about when he was singing to various people. He's been doing this his whole residency. It wasn't until he did it for Keke Palmer where everybody started making a big deal about it, saying, "Oh, didn't she just have a baby?" and she involved with somebody, blah blah blah, and then they forced that dude of hers to basically respond to social media.
Nah, say the
Yeah.
truth. He bitched out. He bitched out.
He bitched out, right? He did. He bitched out and do that. And then from that point on, then it started even spilling over to celebrities that he started singing for. It's like the press, and I don't even say the press, the blogs and social media was giving it so much negative attention that people didn't even want to get sang to anymore. Like, it's like, oh God, now, it used to fly under the radar where he would serenade different people, celebrities. There were celebrities every night to see Usher, and he would find someone in the crowd and serenade them. No big deal. It wasn't until that negative publicity came from the Keke Palmer thing, and even Charlemagne should be ashamed of himself for feeding into that negativity. He needs to be ashamed of himself for saying,
but you know what?
Feed into that negativity. I didn't like that. I know him.
But
I
in
understand
Charlemagne's
he has a
defense,
relationship with him.
he was being it was tongue in cheek. I thought it was funny.
Tongue in cheek. It was tongue in cheek, but at the same time, I wouldn't even have fed into it. You could be tongue in cheek and still, even when he had Usher on there, he never said, "Nah, I'm just messing with you" or whatever. He just let it go the way it was, even with Usher, and that's why Usher's never changed from what he's saying. That's why you'll never find him apologizing for it. You'll never find this is part of his show, and he understands that it's showmanship. I mean, Usher is also, I think he's married. He's also married himself in a relationship, whatever. He's not gonna sit there. Apologizing means he did something wrong. Apologizing means you think you did something wrong.
Wrong, yeah. And he made it clear on Club Shay Shay that like, look, this is just entertainment, man. This is what I do. You know what I'm saying? I've been doing this for years.
Just entertainment. Right. I've been doing it for years. So it's not like so now the problem with this whole thing is you got people, and even Lil Boozy, or he just called Boozy Badass, coming out saying Usher needs to apologize to Swiss Beats. For what? For what? It's
number one.
It's
I'm gonna say that
it's a performance.
And you know what? I'm gonna take it a step further. I'm gonna say this, and I said this to Wes offline. If I'm in a club, because I love to dance, and obviously because of my medical issues, I don't go out dancing as much as I used to, or at all actually. But if I'm in a club and I see a fine chick, and I don't care if she there with somebody or not, I'm not even asking that. I'm like, yo, you want to dance? And she say, yeah, we dancing. If I see Beyonce in a club, I love Jay-Z. That's like that to me. That's like when I was homeless, and I was that music was the music that I listened to. So it was my motivation for me to get my stuff together. And so, but with that being said,
if she come up to you and start
Beyonce,
dancing, hell yeah, you gonna dance.
Dancing, yeah, we dancing. So you would be a fool. Did you see for those that are listening, did you see what Alicia Keys had on when she took that cape off and stood up? Good Lord Almighty.
Yeah,
listen,
exactly.
Yeah, listen, we would have been dancing, and it would have. Usher was being polite because I listen. It would have been some.
Well, my point is this though. So everybody went crazy, right? About it, and they wanted to, instigate. Oh, that's crazy that you touching on somebody's wife like that. And I'm sitting here like, okay, everybody seems to have a problem with it, but and I have to say, unfortunately, that it had to come to that, where Swiss Beats finally answers it. Right, here's one of the pictures from last night. If people didn't see, here's
Look
another
how innocent
one.
that is.
Right. Here's another one where people are like,
look at his body language. I'm sorry. Wait, hold on. Go back to that picture right there. Look at his body language as he's standing behind her. Look at the gap of distance that's between him and her butt. He's not even pressed up against her like that.
Right. No, he's not. Not
No
because we all
pressure. He's
know
not pulling.
we
It's
all
not like
know
he's
what it
pulling
really
off.
would be. We all know it, but also you gotta what people are not taking into consideration is the angle of it all, right? Where people are looking at when it's shot from a
Exactly.
different angle, like from this angle where look, this is you don't really even see what's going on down in here. So people automatically thinking, oh, he grinding, or it's not like he was grinding on her or anything like that. So with that being said, right, they just had their on stage chemistry, which they
Look at that
should
distance.
have
Look,
had
that's
anyway.
another perfect angle. Look at the. Go back to that last one, Wes. The one with his leg between her legs. That one right there.
This one?
Yeah, that one. Yep.
Right.
No, not that one. The one where his leg, where he was on the opposite. He was in front of her, and his leg was in between her.
Yeah, I lost that one, but yeah, I don't know
All
where
right,
it is. I have
but
to
at
go
any
back.
rate, at any rate, if you look at the angle
This
of
one.
that picture, he right there. Yeah. Look at her leg. In a different angle, that would look like he's pressed up against her. He's not even
Against her
touching
from a
her.
different
Her
angle.
leg is in between
Right.
his leg, and he's just dancing and singing in front of her.
Right. So now, once again, everyone wants to put out there, this is crazy, hugging on a man's wife like that. First of all, stop it with the fake outrage. Stop it with the fake concern. You can care less about this man's wife. That's number one. And the fact that she's someone's wife. All you want to do is the
And half
same
of y'all don't
thing
even
that
like
you
Alicia
did
Keys.
with right, exactly. The same thing that you did with the Keke Palmer situation. You're hoping to bait Swiss Beats into saying something to show that he was not pleased with how this all turned out. And to my delight and to a lot of people's delight, Swizz Beats answered the situation. Unfortunately, it's a shame he had to do that on social media, but he basically, and I'm paraphrasing, he basically says, y'all looking at the wrong stuff. What I see on stage is two giants performing in front of millions of people, doing what they do best. Congratulations to both of them. And we don't do negativity on this side. That's not word for word as paraphrasing, but that's basically what he said, right? And so that still isn't enough for people. People still has something to say about it. And I believe this is what he says here. Here, that's where he says right there. And I pop it on the screen. I don't know if it's gonna pop up. That's all. It takes me to Twitter. But that's where, yeah, y'all talking about the wrong damn thing. Y'all don't see that amazing dress covering the entire stadium. Tonight's performance was nothing but amazing with two amazing giants. Congrats, Usher, and my love, Alicia Keys. That song is a classic. We don't do negative
Not only
vibes
that,
on this
look at her.
side. We make history. That's basically what he said.
And
now, that alone
look at
should
her
be
face.
enough.
Look
Yeah,
at her face.
She's laughing.
Look at Alicia Keys' face.
Yeah.
And you know why? Because when Usher grabbed her, she wasn't expecting that. And
Right.
it's because it's a running joke. She's like, "Oh, this nigga didn't just do this," and she's laughing. She's in the moment.
Yeah,
like
more than likely,
anybody
like I
would be.
said, that's all. That's all. Right. That's all. Once again, my thing is this: I don't care how anyone views it. If her husband does not have an issue with it, why should you? Period. And you shouldn't have an issue with it anyway. But even if you do, the husband does not. You know, is part of the show exactly. Shout out to my man Earl Hayes Jr. comes through. Appreciate you coming through. And he's right. It's part of the show. He's been living in Vegas for many years. I'm sure he's seen probably every show, every act that's come through Vegas. It's part of the show. That's all it is. Just like his Serenade people was part of the show. So my final thing is this. I said this at the top of the show, and I'm just going to repeat it for people who may not have heard it. Social media, unfortunately, has become a tool, another tool that our people. I'm dealing with strictly. I'm dealing with strictly our people on this one. It happens with everyone, but I want to address Black people. Our people. It's become a tool that's another tool that's used to basically to instigate,
to bully,
to
start,
to
instigate.
bully, to belittle, to defame, to every bad word you can
and to
you can even think of. Yeah, instigate, tear down, attack, defame, belittle, everything, emasculate.
And the reason why
everything that
is
used, they use this tool, right? This tool has been used against us. We're using the tool against our own people. You shouldn't be using it against anybody, but against our own people. It's sad. It's a shame, and it shouldn't be happening. These people, it's the social media was used. Usher ain't bothering nobody. He is performing. He is a performer. He is an entertainer. He's doing what he has been doing for years. His residency, like I said, from the beginning of his residency, there has been celebrities coming to see him. He will pick them out of the crowd and serenade them. He does it every night. It wasn't until the negative publicity came towards the Keke Palmer situation and that idiot boyfriend or whatever he was, baby daddy to her, took the bait and, as Ralph said, bitched out and basically just fed into, and that's what he fell into it and fed into it, because everyone was bringing that up. He couldn't have paid them no mind, and that would have died off. But the people want to say, oh man, and then it became this big thing for a short period of time. It became, now then, like I said, tongue-in-cheek or not, you got big platforms like the Breakfast Club feeding into it, and they even still just talked about it. I think Jess Hilarious just talked about it on the Breakfast Club, and they're making comments like, oh, after all the stuff that happened with you with your residency, why would you do that? Like, what do you mean, why would he do that? Like, there's been almost no time in Janet Jackson's career that she wasn't with somebody, whether it was Alessandro or Jermaine Dupri or other people that she was dating. There's very small gap where Janet was completely single, but Janet always performs the same way. How many years have she been bringing fans out of the crowd and serenading them, giving them? It got progressively got better every year. It got more and more in depth. First, she started off with strictly sitting them in a chair and doing a lap dance. Then it became to tying them down on some sort of platform thing and literally climbing on top of them and serenading them. I remember one, I don't know who she was dating, if she was dating anybody at all, but I'm just saying, at one instance, she actually kissed one of the guys. You know what I'm saying? So that might have been during, maybe she didn't have nobody, right? But the point is, it's performance. What do you think happened when that platform went into the floor and the performance was over? That mother effer was snatched away by security, and Janet went back to performing her show. Period. So, this whole idea that Usher is, that's why I love that he just lets people think what he wants. He still continues to do what he does because that's what he does. But this whole idea that Boozy would come out and say that Usher should apologize to Swizz Beatz for disrespecting him and his wife or what have you. And once again, it also depends on the relationship, the friendship, what is allowed to be done. I mean, Beyonce was on stage with him performing Bad Girl, and he was standing behind Beyonce too. Now, did he grab her? He didn't grab her, but maybe he don't have that kind of relationship with Beyonce. Maybe he don't have that kind of friendship with Beyonce. So he did not grab her, but he was behind her dancing and doing his movements and stuff behind her. But he did not grab her from behind. He didn't do that. But once again, when he performed it with other people and he's doing performance with them, he did it with Tiana Taylor, which me and my brother laugh all the time about it. We're like, what's the point of you getting up there if you damn near running from him the whole performance? Like, why'd you even agree to do the performance with him? You know what it was. Like, Beyonce did not do that. Beyonce was not running from Usher when she performed with him, Bad Girl. She was right there doing doing her thing, dancing, and they had a nice routine together. It looked the chemistry looked good and whatever. And then people from there, oh, yeah, Jay-Z put a stop to that. Jay-Z was better than that. Jay-Z did that. I'm like, bruh, Jay-Z knows as well as everybody else that was a great performance. So whether or not you want to say he got angry, he got mad, whatever, people are going to say that, but no one knows the truth. They're just making it up. And to you people that are out there that's saying, oh, that wouldn't be me. Well, great. That's great. Thank God you are not married to Alicia Keys. Because that couldn't be me. I would never let no man touch my wife like that. Okay, great. You are not married to Alicia Keys. Swizz Beatz is. You are not Swizz Beatz.
It's so stupid. It's like, that's why I love in movies.
They just want to see messy. That's all it. People just want to see messiness.
I love in movies when you see the big drug dealer, like in Scarface, and like in Carlito's Way, when they let people. It's like, yo, you gonna let him dance with her? Like, look at he just dancing. What am I? I don't care. I don't dance.
Yeah.
So let her have her fun. You're going to restrict. So you're going to restrict. You're saying it can't be your wife or your girlfriend. So here's what you're saying. If your girl goes on a girl's trip, you're going to restrict your girl from having fun and from having a chance to have a lifetime moment. Hell, you act like she's going to run off with Usher. And again, I forgot who said
exactly
it, but if you having that many issues before your girl goes out on a trip, it's not Usher, it's you. It's something wrong with your relationship.
Just like, the person who said that, I forgot who said it, but it was one of those celebrities that went to the show, and she said, if my relationship is in trouble because of Usher singing to me, it was in trouble before you got there.
Before he started singing.
Right, before anyone even got to the show. If your relationship is in trouble because Usher sang to your girl, your relationship was already in trouble. Period. Whether you knew it or not, it was already in trouble. And I'll say this as well. I'll also say this. Like I said, Boondocks already did an episode about this, how people overreact. That was when the character overreacted to his wife being a fan of Usher, and she was a fan, and he was overreacting. He had all this out in his head. He thought she was leaving him for Usher, and he thought she was secretly gonna meet up with Usher and do something with him, and then it turns out she was just getting Usher autograph for the daughter, and the daughter was there and all this. So that's what I'm saying. The point is, he had this whole thing played out in his mind. Everyone go watch. People who haven't watched the Boondocks, you can watch that episode. With I think it's like You, Me, and Usher or something like that. It's I forgot the title of it.
Yeah, that's a perfect title.
Yeah. And he did the whole thing. He started singing "Let It Burn" and everything. It was hilarious. He did the whole dancing in the street, shirt open. He's doing all this stuff trying to mimic Usher. And that's when Cat Williams' character, a pimp named Slickback, came in and told him, Tom, you've tried everything. You're gonna have to hit her. He was like, you're gonna have to slap her. He said, I can't slap no woman. I can't do that. He said, has not slapping her given you the desired outcome? Well, you're gonna have to slap her. Funny episode. You gotta watch it. But yeah, the whole point of that episode was how people overreact in their minds. How he thought that Usher was trying to steal his wife, and Usher, his wife, who was a really big fan of Usher's, and yeah, she did fangirl out when she saw Usher. She fangirled out. She was a fan, and that just drove him crazy. And he's thinking, "Oh my God!" It got to the point where him and his wife literally was in a fight and he left. He even got kicked out of the house. Like she kicked him out because she knew he was acting crazy. So you see the episode, you understand. But the point is, this is how people are. They take things and they make things up that has nothing to do with nothing. Big up to Swiss Beats. I applaud you, my friend. Yeah, he's not my friend. I don't know him, but I applaud you, sir, for doing what you did. And being a grown man and being on your grown man ish, saying, hey, you know what, this is crazy, and you never address that negativity like that. For the people, and I'm talking to our people, y'all gotta understand, y'all, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you leave social media alone, but y'all need to stop using social
No.
media to destroy our own. You need to stop doing it. Stop always looking for something that's messy. I especially want my the whatever audience I have over in Instagram, because that is a social media site, a famous one that a lot of this stuff becomes to light on. Stop always just looking for the evil in everything. Where you're making up things that's not even there. And on top of that, stop worrying so much about something that doesn't affect you directly. And second of all, you have no control over, because whether or not
That
Swizz
ain't your
Beatz,
wife.
yeah, right, it's not your wife. So whether or not Swizz Beatz feels whatever way he feels, it's none of your business. It's not your wife. It's not anything to you. You just enjoy the
And that's what I don't
performance. What do you
understand.
care?
How are you so hurt? How are you so in your feelings about a chick who don't even know your name, don't even know
They're
you
not
exist?
that's the kicker, Kev. They're not concerned. It's fake concern. They just want to see my mess. That's all they want. They just want to see drama. They're not really concerned. They can
But you
care
know what's gonna
less.
happen? I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. One day y'all gonna do the BS, and you know what's gonna happen? Somebody gonna roll up on you. See, and this is the thing y'all forgetting in this day and age. Your IP address, your IP address can be tracked down to the door number.
Yeah,
People can figure you
somebody
out.
gonna pull up on you, because nowadays, even in this day and age, people are pulling up on people. So you gonna get
Like
the
pulling
right
apart.
one. Yeah, you gonna get the right one, and they gonna pull up on you. It's just a matter of the fact that Usher knows that this is a selected few people that are ignorant. These are the same people that you know uh criticize Amari Hardwick because he plays a street character and he's married in real life to a white woman. These are the same people that can't get reality, can't separate reality and fantasy, can't separate reality and performance. They're looking at everything saying, oh my God, oh my God. When it's like, yo, listen, don't y'all know that Usher's got a wife too? So now all of a sudden he's just disrespecting his wife. He's disrespecting his friend's wife, his friend's husband. He's disrespecting. Nah, man, that is not it. Our people need to stop using these tools, these social media devices, as tools to just help destroy us as a people. It's bad enough we got our own issues to deal with. Why are we using these tools as platforms to destroy another black person, especially when it's unwarranted and unnecessary? So that's it. I'm stepping down off my soapbox. I'm stepping off my soapbox now, but I'm just saying this needs to be put to bed. Swizz Beatz has spoken. He has no issue with it. So no one else should be talking about this beyond today. That's my final thing on that. I'm going to wrap the show up on that note. I want to definitely thank everyone over on Instagram that tuned in. I see a lot of people popping in, popping out. With the Instagram live, a lot of people don't stay on for the whole time. They'll pop in, pop out. Like I said before, going forward, all I ask for the people that come in and out. Shout out to Tony Perez, who actually was dropping some comments in there. He says, Kev looks sharp. He said, you look sharp, Kev. He said, he talked about the mask thing. What was he doing wearing the mask? He said he also wore a mask. So other people dropped in comments. Keep dropping the comments in. Keep the engagement going. At least drop in and say who you are, where you from, or just say, what's up? More than likely, I know you because you're probably part of one of my following. But still, just say, yo, what up, Wes? This is so-and-so. Peace. Whatever. Because I'd like to acknowledge you on air. I can't just throw your comment up. See, if you're on YouTube or even Facebook, I can just flash your comment on the screen, such as what I did with Gary, right? I say, yeah, he's there. I put his comment on the screen. He commented from Facebook. You see the little logo in the corner. Just as I would do with Joseph. He's on the YouTube. You see a little YouTube in the corner. So that's what I could do that. I don't have that control with the Instagram. So I need y'all to drop some comments so I can shout y'all out. Because I can't do it without literally shouting you out verbally. So appreciate y'all coming through over on Instagram. Appreciate you, everyone who came in the chat room over here. Joseph Tanner. Appreciate you, brother. And everyone else that came through. The poll, I don't know how many people took the poll yet. It's not the result isn't popping up here. 73% said gave it a 8 through 10 rating, Usher's performance. 27% said 5 to 7, between 5 and 7. And 0% said 0 to 5. So for the most part, it's looking like 8 to 10 is the high number that most people are rating the Usher halftime performance. Last question to all of you, including, of course, you guys. Who would you like to see next? Who would you like to see next at a Super Bowl halftime performance? I think I'm gonna answer the question first. I think it's I'm not gonna say who I like to see. I think it's almost automatic. The next person will probably be Taylor Swift. I think that because she hasn't done it yet.
Yeah.
Now she's kind of connected to the NFL because she's dating someone in the NFL. Let's just assume that they are still dating next year, next season.
And
I would not be
if Kansas
surprised.
City goes back again, that would be crazy.
Forget about it.
Kansas
but
City goes,
even with the
Kansas City
right,
goes
exactly.
to the Super Bowl.
I
Taylor
think at
Swift
this point now,
that would be it would be the highest rated
the
Super
biggest
Bowl
star. In a long time. Taylor's probably the biggest star left that hasn't done Super Bowl. you know, Usher was long overdue. Uh, I'm glad that that happened. He did great. Really, there's no mega star left that hasn't done Super Bowl except Taylor Swift, unless you're gonna give it
Has
to like a
Madonna done the
country
Super Bowl?
artist.
Has Madonna
Yes,
done the Super
yes, she has. Madonna has performed in the Super Bowl halftime before. I think that was years ago, but she did do it. Um, there hasn't been any other. Uh, yeah, no other super mega star left. That except for Jay-Z, ironically, hasn't never done the Super Bowl.
You don't want to do it.
Yeah, he doesn't want to do it, obviously, but I would say, Taylor Swift would be appropriate. Hell, if they didn't
And
already
Jay can
have
do it
Usher
anyway.
locked in, he could have did it this year. She could have did it this year if
Yeah,
they didn't already have Usher locked in. But
yeah.
it was perfect for Usher because it was in Vegas, and Usher for the last year and a half has kind of taken over Vegas. So that was perfect for him. I'm gonna say
And
I'm not gonna say that I'd like to see her because I'm not a fan of her music, but I'm gonna say Taylor Swift seems to be the most appropriate to do
Adele.
the next Super Bowl.
Adele.
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm
Adele,
not sure if
Sade.
yeah, she's a mega
That's
person,
what I did.
but
Personally,
I don't know if I want to see Adele. Adele is mostly love songs. See, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if Adele would. This is just my opinion. I don't think Adele is
No,
a art. She's a
she
mega
got a bunch of
artist, but I don't think she's not a mega artist to me built for a Super Bowl halftime show. That's my opinion. Because of, that's why we
You're
never,
bugging.
you never saw
She most
artists like.
certainly is.
Nah, I don't think so. Yeah, based on the nature of her hits, I don't think she is. Of course, she's a mega star, so people will watch her, and she'll be fine. But I wouldn't really be too interested in watching Adele.
Well, I'm looking like this. Since next year is down in Louisiana,
Right.
it would not surprise me if the person they get to do that is maybe not
Little
Taylor
Wayne.
Swift. No, would be Miley Cyrus. Miley Cyrus.
Maybe. I
Oh
could
yeah,
see Miley
that would make
Cyrus. She
sense.
hasn't done one yet. I could see Miley doing it, especially whatever. But I think Taylor Swift is like she's dropping another album, yet another one. She announced that this Super Bowl that she's dropping. Right before she announced it on the Grammys. Just won a ton of more Grammys. She would be, to me, the most appropriate. It'd be cool to see Miley. Miley got a nice catalog.
And speaking on that, I just want to say this. Y'all need to stop. Jay-Z did not disrespect Taylor Swift by saying that the Grammys got it wrong over all of these years. Because statistically,
he
he is
definitely
correct.
didn't. He definitely didn't. He just, Jay speaks for specific reasons, and we know that he was never gonna shade Taylor Swift. He's not gonna do what Kanye did, and Kanye didn't shade Taylor Swift either. He just interrupted her. He was very rude. He stole her moment. That's where Kanye's. It wasn't the message from Kanye. It was the way
It was
he
what
delivered it.
how
Shout
he
out
did
to
it.
Yelsinia. Shout out to Yelsinia who dropped in on the Instagram side. We appreciate you. She said she dropped in Taylor Swift. She thinks Taylor Swift should be the next Super Bowl. But yet it wasn't Kanye. It wasn't exactly his message. It was the way he delivered the message. It was very rude, and he stole her moment. And Beyonce righted that wrong, or at least tried to right that wrong by giving away her moment to back to Taylor Swift, giving a moment back to her. But neither here nor there. So did you have a definitive person? Do you think so, Ralph? That's who you think it could be based on the location. Is there anyone that you would like to see?
Yeah. You know what? Since they did an old school Los Angeles. I mean, even though it would be in New Orleans, because they play such a big part in the Budweiser Superfest, I would not mind seeing New Edition headline Super Bowl. All six.
Yeah.
All six.
Yeah. I would love to see that. I ain't gonna lie. I would love to see that
unfortunately,
too.
that would never. Yeah, unfortunately, that would never happen because they're not relevant on the pop side with pop culture, because they're really a locked in R&B group. So the white the I hate to put it like this, but white America ain't interested in seeing New Edition, and that's the bad side.
This is funny. I want to say that this is funny. So Yesenia over in Instagram says, I want to see something nasty like Cardi B.
You can hang that
up. She said, I want to see something nasty like Cardi B. Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Yeah, you can hang that one up.
Let's see. I might be able to share the screen. That's funny. I didn't even think about sharing the screen. I can share the screen so you can see the Instagram comments there. But that's what she said. She said, Natty Natasha. I don't even know who that is, but I know who Cardi B is, but that's funny. Now we won't ever see that, but I can see them.
You'll never see a Cardi B. You'll never see a Meg Thee Stallion.
No, you won't even see Meg Thee Stallion. And Meg Thee Stallion is well, I won't say never with her, because she's changing her brand a little bit. She's becoming, and Jay-Z's behind her now. He's behind her brand. So don't be surprised if you see her. I can see her coming out with somebody, but I don't see her. I don't see her headlining, but I could see her coming out with another person. Coming out with somebody. Definitely.
She don't have enough
headlining. I would like to see Missy. Songs. You mentioned Missy. I would have liked to have seen Missy. Yeah. She would destroy a halftime performance. She is such a performer. Yeah, she's such a performer. She said, Nadi Natasha is the Rihanna in the Latina community. Oh, okay. Now we just learned something new. Thank you, Yesenia. But yeah, I mean, now if you're gonna do that, now they did do. Remember, they did have that. You had Bad Bunny, who was a mega star on that side, with the you had a couple other people in when they did Shakira and J-Lo. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you right now, I would love to just for I think now it's past Missy's time to have done it, but I would have definitely have loved to see Missy do a Super Bowl halftime performance, because she can headline it. She can, do stuff like that and it be very, very entertaining. And there's no way her Missy's regular performances is like a halftime Super Bowl performance. So she already does that. Like, this is what she does, So Joseph says, what about Kanye West? Now, Kanye West is obviously too controversial at this moment. Catalog wise, Kanye West could do a Super Bowl performance.
He would body a Super Bowl.
Catalog wise, he went Sierra. No, Sierra doesn't have the catalog for it, in my opinion. He says Keisha Cole. No, she doesn't have the catalog for it. Not the headline.
Big enough.
Keisha Cole. No. Keisha Cole has the catalog.
She don't have the catalog.
Keisha Cole is just like she does, but she's like New Edition.
She don't have
white America don't know what a Keisha Cole is,
which means she doesn't have the hits. The hits are something that's on the Billboard Pop 100, charts.
Well, she
doesn't have the hits in her catalog. Not the hits.
She has the hits. She has the hits in her catalog, but they're R&B hits. And again, like I said,
exactly, that's what I mean. That's not right. Right, and I agree. That's not that's why she's not going to. That's what I mean by she doesn't have the hits. She doesn't have the
No, but see,
global
again, you can't
appeal
say that.
hits.
She has the hits, but she doesn't have Billboard pop hits. She got Billboard. She got R&B.
Then that's that's not enough hits. That's what I'm saying. It's not
hits.
enough hits to appeal to a crowd that watches the Super Bowl.
Again, it's not that. No, but it's not just. But that's what I'm saying. That was my point. But you can't say she don't have hits. She got hits, but they're not.
I didn't
Billboard.
say she don't have hits. I said she doesn't have the hits
That's
for
exactly
this.
what you said. No,
not for this.
She got the hits for it, but then
No, she doesn't.
Oh,
I
okay.
say that. No, she doesn't.
She does not. Because you're saying it without saying it, Kev. You're saying that she has hits, but they're mostly R&B hits. They're not pop hits.
No, actually,
so that's exactly what I'm saying.
What I was saying was but what I was saying was what you initially said, because what you initially said was that she don't have the catalog, and I said she does have the catalog. Now
she does not.
Now it's
not
she has a big enough catalog. Yeah, she does. She got 6 albums. She has the catalog.
6 albums.
She just doesn't have the
6
Billboard.
albums. How many hits does she have off those albums? I'm not
She
saying
got
how
hits
much
off of each
music
album.
anyone can compile, but you're talking about people that does these Super Bowls that has multiple hits. And when I mean by hits, I mean Billboard Top 100 pop hits. That's what matters when it comes to playing the Super Bowl. That's what matters. So because
that's the only thing that matters.
The nature of it, she doesn't have the catalog to carry this.
She has the catalog. She don't have the hits. That's the clarity I'm trying to make. She has a catalog.
The hits in her catalog.
She has.
If Keisha Cole does songs from her 6 albums that nobody knows, majority of people know, then she's a failure.
What do you mean? People know her, but that's what I said. I said the same thing I said with New Edition. She only has R&B chart hits.
Yeah, but even New Edition got a few pop hits. If you add in New Edition as a collective, you got Bobby Brown, you got BBD. Those were pop hits. Those weren't R&B hits. Bobby Brown was a pop star when he became a hit. So if you add in the collective of
you said New Edition.
No, but New Edition. But every time you've seen New Edition shows. Every time New Edition does shows, they incorporate Bobby Brown's hits.
No, you're right. You're right. You're on that part.
They incorporate his hits. So what I'm saying is, even they have more pop appeal than Keisha Cole. That's a fact. So I mean, like I said,
but again, white American. But again, on a wider base, Keisha Cole and New Edition is not getting a Super Bowl because nobody's checking for them like that on a wider base.
Well, I mean, I understand that.
Well, you know what?
But
on that one, New Edition, that's gonna be put to the test because New Edition got that residency coming.
And by the way, Keisha Cole got 6.
Yeah.
And Keisha Cole got 6 top 40 hits on Billboard Hot 100 singles.
Yeah, 6 is not enough. That's not enough to do a Super Bowl.
Nah,
that's not enough.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Six hits on top 100. It's not enough. You know, so I mean that's why it takes some people years and years before they're able to headline a Super Bowl because they have to build up that appeal. They have to build up those hits, and it takes sometimes people. Look how long it took for Usher to do one, and Usher he didn't even do all his hits.
But it's also exposure. The arm.
Yeah. At this stage, I don't think anybody that's doing a Super Bowl needs exposure because you're a well-established artist. It's not like you're a rookie or something or someone just came out the box. You know, I don't think the exposure.
You're doing it because you got something to say. Yeah, right. No, I mean it is exposure. You're doing it. I half agree with you, Ralph. Yes, they don't. The artists themselves don't need exposure as to meaning like people don't know who they are, but everyone who does a Super Bowl does it because they got something to promote.
Yeah.
They got something to, so they do need that exposure to what their project is. Usher dropped a new album, and he also announced that he's doing a tour. He's doing another tour. So he used the Super Bowl platform to promote that and announce that. So now, whatever. Mostly everybody, when they do a Super Bowl performance, they gotta have, because there's no monetary involved in it. You don't get paid to do the Super Bowl, right? So that's the trade-off. You use it to promote something so you can turn it into a bag. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. But yeah, before we go, Kev, did you state specifically who you would like to see as a Super Bowl performance? Could you
Oh
repeat that?
yeah. I had said I said Iron Maiden
Mm-hmm.
or oh God, I forgot who else I said. I said Iron Maiden. I said somebody else. I'm just for poop and giggles. I'm just gonna throw Sade in there.
Okay.
Nope.
No, that's not wrong. It's all about who. No, you can't say nope, Ralph. This is who he would like to see.
I was going to say because the same thing that you said about Adele, like she has mostly love songs. So just
Right.
based on that one, because
I mean, yeah, but this is just what he would like to see. I'm saying if I'm gonna choose that person as there's a lot of people I'm sure that would love to see Adele, but if I'm gonna choose that person, what goes into decisions I'm sure that people make when they do these Super Bowls, choose who's gonna do the Super Bowl, they have to factor in, okay, will the mass audience be 100% entertained by this person? Are they gonna sit there where the majority of your songs are, say, love songs or what have you? Are you gonna sit there
And it's the sing-along factor.
whatever?
Some of these songs are sing-along.
Sing along.
So so the art.
Sing along. I mean, Adele might be the only artist that might be able to pull that off with her love song catalog, because she did become such a global artist. It's possible, but it'll be a very
album.
mellowed out Super Bowl performance. So Super Bowl is about extravaganza and big things that's going on, explosions and this and all that stuff that goes on, and a whole bunch of things. So something with someone has a vast catalog of more mellowed out music, don't know if that's the best choice for a Super Bowl halftime performance to headline it, at least. Just don't know about it. We've never seen that yet.
Kind of performance. It depends on what kind of performance she puts together, because she could put a
but we've never seen that yet. There's been no artist like Adele
last night with
that's
Usher.
ever. No, but that's just a portion of his show. But his show was, Usher has a majority of up-tempo songs. So, but since they started doing these type of performances, we have not seen an artist like Adele, who has her vast majority of her hits are ballads, love songs, or things like that. We haven't never seen an artist like that. But we haven't even seen Whitney Houston headline a halftime performance, probably because of her catalog of, even though they were hits and she was a pop artist, but probably because the vast majority of her hits are love songs and ballads. That's probably why we never saw it.
I Want to Dance with Somebody. She got about 13 or 14 up-tempo songs. And a lot of her songs were converted from slow jams into house music. So Whitney Houston could have definitely
she didn't do it. I'm just saying.
Out.
So we haven't. That's the only person I can kind of think of off the top of my head that is that type of impact or bigger impact than, or just as big, whatever, the same type of impact as Adele.
Celine Dion is another one. That
same type of artist.
I think Celine Dion falls in that same category. Too many slow songs.
I think she,
if she was like 20
she
years
falls in
younger,
that
I might have said
category.
Cher.
Maybe. You know, like I said, once again, some of these people, the fact is, we have not seen an artist like Adele ever headline a Super Bowl halftime performance. I don't think that's a coincidence. That's definitely not a coincidence because Adele definitely she's got the fame for it. She's got the notoriety for it. She's got the fan base for it. But when I say that she doesn't have the catalog, it doesn't have nothing to do with how many songs she's recorded or how many even hits she's recorded. She doesn't have the right catalog for this event.
Yeah,
That's
I
all I'm
agree.
saying. That's all
I
I'm
agree.
saying. It doesn't have nothing to do with what they actually did in their career. It's just that no, this is not a Sade. I love Sade to death. I'm I'm mentally tied to Sade because I used to always play Sade to go to sleep. I would go to sleep to Sade. And because now mentally I can't even play Sade when I'm driving because I'm gonna fall asleep behind the wheel. Because mentally I'm tied to Sade relaxes me and I go to sleep listening to her. You know, so no, she as much as she has a great vast catalog, but it's not the catalog for a Super Bowl. It's just
Nah,
not.
you want to
Super
keep
Bowl
it. You want to
halftime
keep the
performance.
energy high because you still got another hour and a half of football.
You
You
got a
want to keep
whole
the energy
you
high.
got still got a whole thing of ball playing to do. You got to keep that energy high. Sade gonna have people mellowed out, kissing on their women and stuff like that. So it's
So
just
people
it's just not.
like Maxwell. No.
Yeah, people like him. He was big really big at one time, but no, he doesn't have the catalog for this. So that's where we'll go with it. We'll stop it there. Once again, shout out. What's up, Yesidia, man? I appreciate you coming through and dropping a few comments. And everybody that came through on Instagram and dropped some comments. We appreciate you. Keep coming through, keep dropping your comments. I'm gonna look this Latina person up. I don't know if she sings in Spanish or not, but I'm gonna look her up anyway since you brought her up. Shout out to Joseph Tanner. We get some next week. I
Who you
think
bring
this
up?
week we'll start doing our watching and going back to doing our reviews and analysis and things like that. I think Griselda is a good series for us to get up on and watch and comment on it. And then of course we'll have our production meeting behind the scenes and pick which is the actual first movie we're going to use for scene analysis. We already know we got some in mind. We got Heat in mind. We got Any Given Sunday in mind. I got a couple of others in mind, but we're going to figure out which is the one we're going to actually do first and then go ahead and do it next time. That's it, man. Shout out to everybody. We appreciate y'all. Peace out. See you next time.